I took the batteries out of my carbon monoxide alarm because the loud beeping was giving me a headache and making me feel sick and dizzy. So in case anybody was wondering, the loud beeping was giving me a headache and... My dear old grandmother always used to say the way to a man's heart was through his stomach, which is why she lost her job as a cardiac surgeon. And scientists are concerned the legalization of marijuana in Canada may result in an entire nation of overly friendly and polite people. These are just a couple of thoughts. My name is KJ Osborne, and I want to welcome you, yes, you, to the show. Thank you guys so much for being here for another edition of KJ's What Happened. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a great week. We had a live show last night here on the YouTube channel. I uploaded it to BitChute and Rumble now, but you can check it out here, there, wherever. But it was awesome. Good over 5 hours of just conversation. Amazing guests. So thank you all so much. You joined me last night, and I hope you guys get a chance to check it out. So thanks again for that. It's a lot of fun. Always a pleasure. Hi, Tamara. Good to see you again. Thanks for being there last night. And good to see everybody. Hope you're all well. Plenty to get into this week, as usual. Like I said, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're ready for a great weekend. And thanks so much for sharing some of your afternoon with me today. Much appreciated. I'll try to make it worth your time. And we'll go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and jump right in. When pressed on strict logic by creationists, AI admits evolution is, in quotes, effectively impossible. AI assistants such as Grok and ChatGPT carry an unsettling amount of influence in our society, with the creators boasting about AI's vastly superior intelligence. People often unquestioningly trust the answers the programs provide. Excuse me, I'm trying to get the point here, lady. All right, what happens when AI is challenged on the facts? Calvin Smith, the executive director of Answers in Genesis Canada, in his new video series, A Talk with Grok, discovered something astonishing. When you peer behind the bias and press the programming to logically examine the evidence, you get a very different answer. I wonder if there's a video of this. It'd be cool. It says, beginning by setting perimeters to strip away ideologically driven answers, he asked Grok to apply only strict logic, mathematical probability, and observational science in its answers. It says, spoiler, Grok not only admitted that the theory of evolution is effectively impossible, the AI assistant also concluded that intentional creation of life by God is the most probable, adding that those who reject intelligent design are denying overwhelming evidence. That's very cool. I'll stop there. It's kind of a long article, but it's on Harbinger's Daily, if you're interested, checking that out. Jets quarterback Justin Fields tells fans he is low-key addicted to reading his Bible. So that's cool. I always like to see the, these men or women in these sports with a lot of reach, talking about the Lord, talking about the Bible. Good stuff. I don't know who he is. Just wanted to share that. NASA is monitoring a house-sized asteroid nearing Earth. And let's see, expected to pass Earth on August 16th. So I guess that'd be today, at a speed of approximately 17,717 miles per hour. Cool. There's 3 sevens and an 11. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, oh boy, with the occult beginnings, Jack Parsons, and you guys know about all that. Most of you do. Well, let's see what happens then. All right. This is was posted earlier today. So, all right. We'll see what happens. Keep your eyes to the skies, I guess. As you know, yesterday was a big deal. It was a big day, August 15th, the Trump and Putin summit in Alaska. I haven't been following it real close, but from what I understand, I guess, I don't know, it went okay, right? I'm not even sure what the outcome was. I think I may have that posted somewhere else up here today. We'll get to it.
President Trump has had...
This is, quote, shadow government smuggles die wokeness into red states, from J.D. Rucker. Let's check this out.
Had a tremendous success in the first 7.5 months of his second term as president when it comes to ending wokeness, stopping DEI, the scourge of DEI that has plagued our nation for far too long. He's really bringing it down to its knees. And when I say it, I do consider it to be a singular, non-corporeal entity, if you will. It's a spirit of evil, the wokeness that has spread across our country. Well, it is subsiding. He's done this through executive orders. He's done this through the guidances given out by the various bureaucracies within his administration. He's worked with states, especially red states, and we've seen a lot of companies, a lot of individuals and companies out there that are embracing this notion, the end of wokeness. Perhaps some of them are coming to their senses. I would say a lot of them always felt this way. They always thought it was crazy to do these woke things within their companies, but they were too scared, intimidated, bullied, we'll say, into they didn't want to get canceled just because they treated people the same versus the woke ideology of treating everybody different based upon various conditions that may or may not influence how they are and who they are. But there is one area that is still, I would say, a tremendous challenge, even in red states, and that is through the deep state. And I'm not talking about what we all know as the deep state, the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, Mossad, GCHQ, whatever, members of the Uniparty swamp, IRS. I mean, pick a 3-letter agency, and there's probably some deep state involvement there. I'm not talking about that deep state. I'm talking about we'll call it the lower level deep state. And there's a lot of them. Almost all of them are through nonprofits, NGOs that are not being affected, are not being mandated out. They're not getting fired. I'm sure they're getting a lot less funding, especially with USAID gone, but they're still bouncing back, and they're operating at the state level. And it's not just blue states. This isn't just a California thing. This is happening in red states, and many Republicans are allowing it to happen at the state level. This is happening. We turn to this article by Tyler Durden over at Zero Hedge. Shadow government bureaucrats exposed for stoking woke insanity in red states. A new report from the State Leadership Initiative released Wednesday is sounding the alarm on how conservative states are quietly adopting woke policies, driven by little-known national bureaucratic organizations. The report, first reported by Fox News, details how a web of well-funded national associations, often posing as nonpartisan or professional groups, is behind this trend, pushing what SLI calls shadow governance. These groups set policy frameworks, control federal funding, and offer best practices that lean heavily into left-leaning priorities.
All right, I'll stop there. I just want to share some of that. We know there's these little shadow groups, it would seem, working out there. Fired Minnesota TV meteorologist claims her boss ordered her to wear tight-fitting dresses, reprimanded her for changing her hair color. That's not good. Popular Minnesota TV meteorologist accused her boss of pushing her to wear tighter clothes and reprimanded her for switching her hair color before she was fired. Ren Claire, whose legal name is Renee Fox, filed the harassment and retaliation lawsuit against the affiliate. All right, I think we kind of get the gist of it. Sounds like a creep. I guess that's the guy. That's the dude, and that's the lady. Got it? All right. This is, I'm not sure what this is. What do you guys think? Is this, is this something paranormal? Is this some kind of a weird hybrid creature? What is this? A puppet? I don't know. Starts getting closer, but look at that. I don't know. Maybe it's just a dog, just the way it's standing. Right? I don't know. A panther? It's hard to tell. What do you guys think? Baby bear? Puppy? Yeah, see, there it just looks like a dog, like a black dog now. But then, I don't know, it kind of looks a little different after a few different frames. I don't know, maybe it's nothing. See, there it just looks like a black dog. Right? There's nothing scary about that. So, okay. There we go. Mystery solved. One down. More to go. Grieving pet owners in China cry foul over unscrupulous online animal communicators. Proving that psychic shenanigans are not bound by any border, multiple people in China say they were duped by unscrupulous online animal communicators who claimed they could contact a departed pet for a price, but then failed to deliver on their promises. Oh boy, that's not cool. According to a local media report, the issue has become a hot topic of conversation on Chinese social media after a woman shared her unfortunate experience with one such self-proclaimed mystic, identified as Anren. She explained that the trouble began last October when her beloved beagle, Kiki, or Kwee, I don't know, that's cute. Either way, but Kiki passed away, and after expressing her sorrow in a series of social media posts, the heartbroken woman was contacted by a mysterious person with an unusual offer. Man, that's so not cool, right? Preying on people at their worst moment, at their lowest. The stranger, who identified themselves as a psychic named Ling, assured her that she had no reason to be sad, since the souls of animals are immortal and can be reincarnated as luck would have it. The mystic informed her, "I have built a chat group of people who lost their, quote, fur babies, and we encourage and comfort each other," she said. Upon joining the online social circle, which boasted over 400 members, Anran was quickly offered the opportunity to reconnect with Kiki, provided she was willing to pay for the psychic communication. And there we go, right? Specifically, the dog's owner forked over around $20 for Ling to ask the animal spirit 5 questions, and an additional $120 for what was billed as a, quote, reincarnation package. Oh boy. So rotten, these people. Hold on, let me take a drink here. Ice water today. Says the latter service, the reincarnation package, it promised that Anren would be visited by Kiki, or Kwee if you like, in a dream wherein her precious pooch would reveal the circumstances of its reincarnation so that the two could be reunited. When the dog failed to appear after several weeks, the victim was told she was too emotional about her beagle's passing and needed to strengthen her belief in that process. After Kwee continued to be absent from her dreams, Anran's concerns were met with her being cast out of the group and blocked by the mystic. Adding insult to injury, when she took a closer look at the 5 answers that purportedly came from her dog, she discovered that the responses had actually been gleaned from her previous social media posts. Man, these people are nasty, right? All right. So Anran's decision to share her story led to a second individual coming forward. Similar account. So it looks like it's they got it. They exposed him. So good. Happy ending. Video UFO pigeons cause stir in India. I'm going to check this out. Oh, they're blinking. That's it. Got it. Is that it? Okay, not sure. Not sure if that's says a pair of pranksters. Okay, there we go. It looked kind of like a shoddy setup. Paranormal investigator warns famous haunted houses' new owners. Paranormal investigator Philip Syracusa, if I said that right, has voiced serious concerns following the sale of a property once owned by researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous folks. You probably know about them. The Conjuring movies, they're kind of characters in some of those. Like, what are the rest of them? Either way, in an interview with TMZ, he claimed that comedian Matt Rife and YouTuber Elton Casti may be putting themselves and others in grave danger. Syracusa believes there are dark forces tied to the Warren home that's now also an occult museum, and he's convinced that Rife and Casti have been, quote, chosen by the house for sinister reason. Ruh-roh. Beginning to sound like a movie. Syracusa also expressed alarm over plans to open the Monroe, Connecticut location to public overnight stays. Oh boy. Warning that exposing visitors to such a potent dark force could have dangerous consequences. Says people are going to get hurt, he said, or cautioned, calling the idea a recipe for disaster. Echoing these concerns, Chris McKinnell, the grandson of Ed and Lorraine Warren, said that the space was designed as a controlled environment for education, spiritual research, and protection. McKinnell urged the new owners to seek guidance from paranormal experts and to handle the museum's artifacts responsibly, stressing that we're dealing with forces we don't fully understand. So I wouldn't ever want to, but that's me, and that's most of you, But, some of these people are into that witchcraft and sorcery and deals with devils, and, what a perfect kind of place, to draw from that energy that's already there and then bring more in if you want, or for whatever purpose. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but I'm saying it's a possibility. It's possible. British cops on a hunt for skeleton thief. British police are on the hunt for a sticky-fingered ne'er-do-well who committed his misdeeds while clad in a skeleton costume. There he is. According to a local media report, the not-quite supervillain stole cash and a credit card from a car in the community of Huddersfield late last month. What made police take notice of the thief was his unusual choice of attire, a full-body skeleton costume complete with a nightmarish skull mask. So there you go. Weirdo. Reminds me of the creepy clowns. And a lot of people were doing that. It's almost, if it was going to happen, this year, like this is usually around the time it would kind of slowly start coming in, before October. But it was a big deal for like a couple years there, and then it kind of went away. It says for the first time in Canada, surgeons put teeth in patients' eyes to restore their sight. This was really wild. I'd never heard anything about this myself. Check it out. Whoa. Tooth and eye surgery to restore vision. Guessing that's a real deal, huh? Let's see. It's interesting. Who knew? Who knew? I didn't know. You might have known, but Blackfly electric aircraft wows crowd in Santa Barbara demonstration. Palo Alto-based Pivotal showcased its single-seat, all-electricity Blackfly aircraft at the Santa Barbara Polo and Racket Club. Powered by 8 small propellers, the Blackfly has been in development for nearly 15 years and can be used for recreation or rapid access to hard-to-reach areas. See, that'd be cool, like in the mountains, mountain rescues and stuff. The model on display weighs 348 pounds due to added safety gear like a ballistic parachute. Pivotal is exploring leases with California fire departments and the U.S. Department of Defense for emergency and medical applications. That's really cool. Whoa. It's like Blade Runner. That's what it reminds me of. Bet that'd be fun too, huh? It only cost $190,000 though. Does not require a pilot's license. Requires the completion of a week-long training course, though, as a condition of purchase. It's pretty cool. Wow. Don't have to have a license? It's crazy. Pivotal. There you go. Order yours today. It's only $190,000. Excuse me. And now crews are using bobcats to clear out homeless encampments in D.C. And as you know, Trump's really tightening the grip out there in D.C. And here's an example of just that. There you go. I mean, I guess we could keep watching, but we get it. I think we understand what's happening here. Thought there might be something else. Maybe something a little more exciting than that. But says Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavino just exposed Gavin Newsom right outside his venue. All right. Let's check it out.
What happened? We're here making Los Angeles a safer place. Since we won't have politicians that'll do that, we do that ourselves. So that's what we're here today, as you can see. Already making it a safer place. We're glad to be here, not going anywhere.
And the governor's inside right there.
I don't know where he's at.
He's about 100 feet behind us. Do you have any comment from him or anything?
Again,
any message?
We're making Los Angeles and California a safer place. We're going to continue to do that. And they can take that one to the bank and cash it. Thank you.
What happened?
We're here.
All right, there we go. Nice. Says, please pray for Tennessee. Yeah, this is, as you know, that these weather trends continue, and there's still crazy old flooding all over the place. Not just America, certainly in America, but other countries also. And of course, on top of that, to counteract that, there's the flames, popping up all over the place, of course. So flames and water. Anyway, here's an example, a little bit from Tennessee, just how crazy it's getting out there. Look at that. In a spiral. All right. Pretty wild. See him in the spiral back there? Crazy. All right, moving on. Unfortunately, that's... You've seen that. I've got some more examples. Ex-witch exposes Hollywood. Let's check this out.
This ex-witch talks about how Hollywood uses witchcraft in their films.
You know, they recreated that movie, The Craft, in 2020.
Really?
They recreated the movie and they invited real witches on the set, and they had the witches before they would do a scene to cast spells and to invite the actresses to come into this circle with them while they were releasing spell words over the viewers and over the scene. And they broadcast it and wrote articles like, isn't this amazing? We're getting real and raw with these real witches, and people are playing it in their home, and it's entertainment. And you know, Charlene, I always say the first part of entertainment is enter. So be careful what's entering your home.
Good point, ladies. Thank you. Real spiritual warfare out there, right? Let's check a little bit of this here out. Oh. Why Steve-O doesn't believe in God. You know, here's a guy definitely to pray for. You could check this clip out. It's on Danny Jones Clips. We'll play a little bit here.
Well, with Jesus died for my sins,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like, so what? Like, oh, you do a bunch of like fucked up shit and it's cool because it's on Jesus's tab.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
You know, like, and furthermore, like, however late in your life that you decide to be saved by Jesus, like,
It's all
you're
good.
cool.
Mhm.
So you just wait until you're on your deathbed after being a complete shitbag for
Right.
your whole life. And then
Right.
it's, oh, but Jesus, and then it's just going to be absolved and everything's cool.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like, you know, like all of the people who I love who are of Muslim faith, you know, Jewish, like they're going to be burning in hell because they didn't accept Jesus
Right.
as their savior. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I've always said that if heaven's all it's cracked up to be, I'd love to check it out, but not without every person who I love. And I love a lot of people who by Christian standards are going to hell. So I guess it's hell for me. You know? And it just seems so silly on top of that too, because Jesus, like, pretty well documented that Jesus lived 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So how did anybody get to heaven before 2,000 years ago? There were humans before Jesus.
Yeah.
So are they all burning in hell?
That's a good question,
Like, what
bro. I've never thought about that.
What are we doing here? I've asked this question many times, and I've heard that they were like, oh no, before then you could do like sacrifice animals or some weird dark shit.
God.
Like, you know, like it's silly, man.
Anyway, I'll just share that much, but yeah, he's, you know, pray for the guy. I do, and that he really finds, you know, he has a moment with Jesus. I think that'd be amazing, because he's definitely a strong person. He's a survivor. He's, you know, probably some of his background. He's one of the Gen Xers, but one of the jackass guys, and, you know, just has a crazy history and used to be really caught up in the lifestyle and all that stuff, you know, so he's come a long way. Anyway, to me, that's the next step for you, sir, is finding Jesus. And there you go. There you go. All right. So you can go check that out on Danny Jones Clips on YouTube if you like.
Yeah, I've noticed this.
If you feel so inclined. So yeah, you may have heard about this one right here. The rabbits with tentacles and horns. That's pretty interesting. You know, they always have, like, they'll have a name for it or a scientific thing or a term or whatever. I see, but, you know, I don't know. I'll be watching this one.
I've noticed these rabbits more than once while walking my dog, and it turns out I'm not alone. So I reached out to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. It seems rabbits enjoy living in Fort Collins just as much as people. They're often spotted hopping through neighborhoods looking for grub. But some southeast Fort Collins neighbors noticed bunnies were cute. Wasn't exactly the word that came to mind. I snapped this photo of one of the rabbits I've seen with the growth. I also saw this photo posted on Reddit, also spotted in Fort Collins.
Like a scabbyish looking kind of growth over her face.
Looks like it was black quills or black toothpicks sticking out all around his mouth.
Susan Mansfield said she saw a different bunny with tentacles in her yard in recent years.
He had this same black stuff on him, and I thought he would die off during the winter, but he didn't. He came back a second year, and it grew.
Some
Yes, I have.
feel bad for our tiny neighbors.
If they have, something that, we can help them with.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife confirms this is a virus that's not contagious to other animals like people's dogs, but they say leave this wildlife alone like you would with any of the neighborhood bunnies. Colorado Parks and Wildlife wasn't available for an interview today, but they did talk to me over the phone. They said these growths are kind of like benign cancer cells or like warts that just keep growing. They said they don't harm the rabbits unless they grow on sensitive areas like the eyes or mouth, which could, of course, impact eating. In Fort Collins, Amanda Gill.
I know, that'd be weird. What if you were just hiking alone and all of a sudden you heard some noise behind you, you turn around, and there's like 15 of those things, and some of them got the horns sticking out of their mouths, some of them have the tentacles, and they're just dead on looking right at you, man. Dead eyes, start walking at you. That'd be scary.
When somebody says something disrespectful, there's two different ways I like to do it. You can either...
Quickly, I want to say, hey, thank you, Jenny G and McGruff. Appreciate y'all. And Jenny G says, hope all is well with you, KJ. Thanks. Requesting prayers for her mother, very ill in the hospital. The world needs Jesus. Doing my prayers, Jenny G, Canada. So yes, certainly, Jenny, we'll pray for your mother. And thank you. Yeah, hang in there. Hang in there. All right, let's check this out.
When somebody says something disrespectful, there's two different ways I like to do it. You can either ask them to repeat what they said, or you can repeat it for them. Or let's add a third, and it's probably best for this conversation, is you ask questions based on what they said. So if it's, did you mean for that to sound rude? Did you mean for that to sound disrespectful? What response were you hoping I'd give here? Did that feel good to say? Little things that it's not you actually responding to what they said. You're asking a question. You're being a mirror for them in that moment. So if you could say, did you mean for that to embarrass me? I mean, what are they going to say? Who's the one who looks more in control? When somebody says something
It's a good point, isn't it? I just found this, I don't know what channel it is.
You can increase that to 15.
Yeah, I just found that channel recently through these shorts. Here we go, kind of an early doom break, if you will. Marley the Penguin making art. I'd purchase that art, wouldn't you?
Wow, it's so beautiful. You add no more? Here she goes. Good girl. Wow, a little spin. I like that choice. Good girl. And there you go, Marley. The best artist in the world.
That's awesome. That little tail, look at the tail wagging at the end.
And there you go, Riley.
The penguin, I mean.
The best artist in the world.
It's funny. All right. That'd be some cool art to have, don't you think?
This New York Yankees player, Aaron Judge, has everything you could ever want. Watch this.
You and I have talked a little bit in these big events about your faith over the last couple of years, last year's All-Star Game and at the World Series. What would you say to someone who thinks that fame and fortune is the answer to all their problems? Or is there something bigger and better that can fill that?
Yeah, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's given me this platform, given me this ability. The fame, getting a chance to do this it's great and all, but it's not fulfilling as much as the relationship I have with him. So that's what I would tell anybody is just, build a relationship with him, and that'll solve all your problems.
This New York Yankees player, Aaron Judge, has.
There we go. Good stuff. Again, it's good to see the these not celebs, but these athletes, big athletes, talking about Jesus. This one's pretty wild. It says, I wasn't even alive in 1985, and this video made me cry, is what this person wrote. It says, was it really this great? But somebody created an AI movie going back to 1985. So check this out.
You made it back. How's 2025? I heard no one talks face to face anymore, and everything's lived through something called social media.
I heard people don't even know their neighbors anymore. They don't knock on doors, they just talk through something called Instagram.
What the hell is Instagram?
I heard in the future, no one even goes outside anymore. Everyone just stares at screens all day.
Man, that's messed up. Dude, it's 1985 and the release of the film DHG Goonies. Forget 2025 and come here. We want you here.
Yeah, we want you here. We got your ticket, man. It'll be awesome if you could come back.
Dude, go back to 1985. I know 2025 is bad. As soon as I finish here, I'll come get you. Man, come to 1985. I miss you. I heard that 2025 is very complicated. I'm sorry about that.
My grandson, go back to 1985. Your gift has been under this tree for 40 years. Come here to get it.
Hey, you there in 2025? Come to 1987.
I'm sorry, the world is like this in 2025.
Hey, you there in 2020 Station 5? Forget the PlayStation 5 and come play arcade with us. We miss you here.
It's sad to know the world got bad in 2025. We miss you.
Crazy. Crazy. Sorry about that. I seriously just took a drink of water like right at that moment. But just crazy what AI can do, continuing to improve, right? Well, let's see here. Gavin Newsom is letting the Chinese now buy up Pacific Palisades land. So, oh boy, Gavin, man.
Do you know who's buying up all of the property in the LA fire zones?
Who?
It's the Chinese. And I've avoided saying this for a while because I knew everybody would call me a racist. But that's just the fact of the matter. I work in both areas daily, both Pacific Palisades and Altadena. And the people driving around looking at the properties to buy them are all Chinese nationals. And I've even had a few of them call me saying, hey, we're buying 5 or 6 lots. Can you build us spec houses? And go ahead, call me a racist. But I think it's sad that California and LA, with their slow reaction time and incompetence, is going to turn both Altadena and Pacific Palisades into the type of neighborhoods where you drive down and all of the signage is in Chinese. You can't read it. You can't understand it. Here in America, because of incompetence.
See, I don't know about if it's incompetence. Maybe something even worse, right? Like intention. Says Democrats cut the water off to California ranchers with no warning. Oh boy. Here's a couple of the ranchers. Let's see what this here's all about.
Oh, we just found out we're not going to be able to get any irrigation water, which shuts us down as ranchers.
We're just kind of looking at just having to go out of business, you know, because that's what we do here is raise cattle. And if we don't have any water, that's going to be taken away from us.
Well, it'll go dry.
What do you do here?
What do you do with dry land that you can't grow anything on? We're all going to have to go out of business. Oh, we just found.
That's not cool. We'll see. Hopefully, somebody comes along and helps them, saves them. Supreme Court formally asked to overturn landmark same-sex marriage ruling. Kim Davis, Kim Davis, a former clerk who refused gay couples, brought the appeal. 10 years after the Supreme Court extended marriage rights to same-sex couples nationwide, the justices this fall will consider for the first time whether to take up a case that explicitly asks them to overturn that decision. Kim Davis, the former Kentucky County clerk who was jailed for 6 days in 2015 after refusing to issue marriage licenses to gay couples on religious grounds, is appealing a $100,000 jury verdict for emotional damages plus $260,000 for attorney's fees. In a petition for writ of certiorari, if I said that right, filed last month, Davis argues First Amendment protection for free exercise of religion immunizes her for personal liability for the denial of the licenses. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We get it. All right, a bit of that battle taking place there. Reptilian shapeshifters are everywhere. Pay close attention to eyes and tongues, it says. Always be vigilant. So let's see. Is this real or not? Yeah, is that real? Or is it an attachment? You know? But I guess you could coil it back up too. So it's, yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Jeepers. That's spooky. Yikes. All right, there you go. There's your new girlfriend, I guess. Says a recording of an alleged skinwalker crawler cryptid. If anybody has information regarding this video, drop a note. It says, thanks. From a truth poll. Anyway, this is a really interesting one. It's a little bit older. This is from June 2024, but it's a cool capture. Check this out.
Respond while we're watching them.
All right.
How do you track them?
It's 2 more black dots. Cody.
I'll play it a couple times.
Oh, what the crap? Is that a guy? What the frick?
What the fuck?
What was that?
He's walking creepy.
Dude, that was a skinwalker. What?
Follow him.
I videoed it. What the frick?
I'm gonna get my gun.
That was a skinwalker.
No. Respond while we're watching them.
All right.
How do you track them?
It's 2 more black dots. Cody. Oh, what the crap? Is that a guy?
So let's see where it starts.
Guy?
So right there is where we first see him. You see the white dot there? And we'll slow it down too. Okay, let's see here. It looks like it's, it's not, it doesn't look like it's a human right now. It looks like it was like walking on all fours. See? But then you see how it changed? Now it just looks like someone walking down the road. Hey, can I get a lift into town? Hey, you want to see something scary? I mean, really scary. Anyway. All right, so let's see if they play that again. I don't see him anywhere. I guess that was it. All right, we'll turn back to normal speed. All right. I'll go ahead and move on, but that's a good one. Yeah, I remember we watched it here on the show back when it first came out. Back when it was making the rounds, as they say. It says this video is going viral for a humanoid creature caught on camera. It looks like an old person or even a druggie. What do you think? This video was allegedly from Romania. So look at this thing. It's walking up next to the car and alongside. It looks like a little person, doesn't it? Whoa. Hi. That's a scary looking face, if that's the face. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? So it looks like it's facing up. And you clearly see the eye, the nose, the mouth. Yikes. It's weird. One more time. So hard to tell what that is. See, that looks like the face. That looks real weird right there, doesn't it? Like it's just changing shape. I don't know. It's a weird one. Let's see what they're saying in the comments on that here. Oh, none. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll move on. I thought it was kind of cool. Whatever it was. Interesting. Rapture dream and powerful life-changing testimony. Let me see. Yeah. All right, let's check this out.
So I know it's going to upset a lot of anti-rapture people, but I think it'll help people because it literally changed my life. This was me in 2020 for reference. Some of these are so embarrassing, I shouldn't even show them. Like, I can't even figure out why I was doing this with my hair. Tattoos are a filter, but the makeup and the hair was real. And this isn't shade to anybody that has colored hair. I was just like literally dyeing my hair like every week. And I was deep in the trenches of anxiety, depression, BPD, like literally everything. I was formally diagnosed with just about everything that you can think of. This picture was in like August. Like what is with the necklace? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I claimed to be an atheist. I said I didn't believe in demons, but I truly thought that like goth and emo stuff was like an aesthetic. Like I was somehow separating it in my mind. It makes absolutely no sense to me now, but when I look back, I was in such a state of like disconnect. Like I barely remembered anything that was going on, and I was always somehow in an emotional mess. A lot of people get mad at me in the comments for being covered in tattoos. This is why I was covered in tattoos, guys. I think not everybody realizes that I used to be an atheist and then I was like radically saved. And I have so many tattoos and they're so dark that even if I got them removed, they would have to have like a cover up over them. So I don't really want to get more tattoos to replace the other ones. Back then, I had absolutely no biblical knowledge. I grew up in a Catholic church. I knew nothing about God. They don't teach anything that's correct or in the Bible. As a kid, I remember being terrified of going to church. It was very ritualistic. They'd stick us in like black boxes and make us confess our sins to a priest. Like just very like dark vibes. So I was afraid of church and I became atheist because in my mind, I was like, by the time I was a teenager, I was like, there's no way. Like if there was a God, he wouldn't be like that. Like that can't be it. And in my mind and like based on like what I had been around in my life, I thought that Christianity like was Catholicism. Like I think that most Catholics don't know that they're not following Christianity like at all. So I was an atheist for a long time, and as you could see from the pictures, I've never been of this world. Now I consider myself like that, like in a good way, like I'm like under Jesus, but I've always been pretty weird. Always like had a hard time with all different things. Growing up, I was like 100 pounds overweight. So, and then of course we all have our hardships and stuff like that. So I want to say rough around the edges, but I feel like that's like not a strong enough term. I was pretty roughed up. I'm not going to lie. Amazing news that they're also going to be excited about. And I'm like, guys, Jesus is real. Like, he loves us. I saw him. I know that it was him. I saw him. And nobody cared except me. At that time, I didn't know a single thing biblically. I learned that that was like a biblical concept from someone that grew up Christian, but like turned agnostic. They were like, you had a rapture dream? And I was like, no, like it wasn't the end of the world, because I think I had heard the rapture like being used interchangeably with like Armageddon. And I assumed that it meant like that it's like bombs and stuff going off. And the crazy part that a lot of people are not going to like is that I remember distinctly in the dream, the people that were still on the ground picnicking didn't even know. Like the world was just continuing on as business as usual. They were continuing like making their sandwiches and stuff. And we were all like literally floating up into the sky. There was a crack in the firmament and they didn't see it. Like it was a private event. This is not thus saith the Lord. I'm just telling you what my dream was that literally brought me into Christianity, if that means anything to anybody. And the kicker is that I had no idea that we were like in Revelation. I had nobody around me that was Christian, okay? So I wasn't even familiar with like the concepts of these things. I had no idea. I didn't even know that we were close to the end. I didn't even know that it meant that like you're removed from tribulation. I really thought that like it just meant that like Jesus loved me. I thought it was supposed to be like symbolic of like when I die, like I'm gonna go back home, which is awesome, right? That's why I was like, I love Jesus and Jesus loves me. But it was very like on par with what I now know to be a common theology. So I wasn't brought to Christianity because I thought that I would be removed from bad things. I just like had like a firsthand experience of like Jesus, number one, being very real, and number two, like loving me. And that was it. Like I was just like forever changed. I was done with the other stuff right then and there. And what's crazy is I did a video a couple months ago. I got an antique celestial map. It has like the entire heavens and it's from the 1800s. And it starts on March 20th and it ends on March 20th, which is the spring equinox and also the same day that I had this dream. And I explained like why I thought it might be a possibility that Jesus's birthday was March 20th. And I like connected it to like the first and the last and like how the constellations tell the story of Jesus. This is not astrology. This is astronomy. The creation tells the story of Jesus, not like worshiping the creation or something like that. Because I know a lot of people are really worried about that every time that I bring up anything that's like the stars or the sky. So I've had two fairly recent dreams where Jesus was in them. And both of them, the setting was like kind of something like this, except there was no trees or rocks. And the grass was like almost like a fluorescent green. And it was also glittery. And there wasn't any wind, but it was like gently blowing somehow. The first one, we were walking along this stream and I was like kind of just like talking about like my life worries and like stressors and stuff. And he was like saying things to comfort me. But one thing that just stands out to me so much is I had gotten this message on Instagram from this girl and she said something that was like blasphemous. Like she said that, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like something about like, oh, like your God is not God. You know what, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I responded back and I was like kind of snippy and then she was snippy back. And my response was something like, okay, like if you want to go to hell, I shouldn't have said it. And I did because I was frustrated. I felt like I was like supposed to be defending God in that moment. And it was just a bad interaction where I showed bad fruits and I made excuses for it by saying that I was like defending God who doesn't need my defending. And in the moment, it felt like I was justified because I was like, well, why would she go out of her way to message me that? Like, I don't even know this person. And that's like something that happens to me quite a bit, especially because I'm fairly like upfront, like, no, Jesus is the truth. That makes a lot of people upset. So I tend to just kind of stay out of my messages as much as possible for that reason. So anyways, in the dream, it was the night that I had got into it with like some random girl. I don't even know why I came to it. Jesus literally said to me as we're walking that I didn't represent him how he wants to be represented.
All right, I'll go ahead and move on. I wanted to kind of get more into some of the dreams, but that's all right. Still good to hear the testimony. It's Watchman River channel. This is a really good one. It says, I was left behind in the second coming of Christ, Brandon's testimony. So I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll bounce around a bit. We'll come back to that since we just heard a little bit kind of a testimony, right? Man, this is really crazy. And this is, wow. Once again, the United Kingdom never ceases to surprise me, really. It's like there's always something new. Now they have these joggers that are helping to stop catcalling. And if you don't know what that is, it's, men kind of yelling out to ladies, who may be jogging by or exercising or whatever out in public or just walking by, but pretty ladies or whatever. And sometimes some of the boys, they throw a couple comments her way, as you know. Boys will be boys, right? But now they actually have police. Like, they got these straight up undercover police trying to see if there's any dirty men out there staring down these women and giving them compliments.
These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so prevalent.
She loves it.
And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed, or shouted at, pulling people over.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still need to be addressed. And of course, the people that are likely to commit those kind of behaviours, they may then go on to commit more serious offences or more serious behaviours.
These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers.
Right? It's like, come on. I mean, I don't live out there, but I could give them a list of at least 10 other things that need immediate attention, I would say. But anyway, that's just me. But there you go. Better watch out, friends out there of ours, or anybody out there. And keep your eyes to yourself. President Trump says police can now do, quote, whatever the hell they want. Whoa. This is from The Hill. So there's that. Oh boy. We'll see. We'll see. Is this one of the ways they're bringing in, if not like full-on police state, but that police state idea, more authority, bringing it in, making it a little more acceptable, but also another way of kind of setting up, the final system, right? The final beast system. Coding students whose jobs were taken by AI forced to find work at Chipotle, unfortunately. But if you're going to order, a burrito, can't go wrong with some Chipotle, even though I understand it's gotten really expensive there now. Dogman werewolf in Mexico. What do you think about this? Hanging up in a palm tree. Also, hey, Kurt FJ, thank you so much, man. Very cool of you. Says, last week I felt convicted about being too worldly, going back to church, reading the Bible every day, less time gaming and watching entertainment. Good for you, man. Well done. That's great. Anytime we give something up for him, it's really good. So good on you, my friend. Thanks again. Appreciate it. So let's check this out.
We have another weird creature sighting, and this one again is coming out of Mexico. No, there's something with Mexico, all these weird sightings from UFOs, aliens to unidentified creatures. It almost makes you wonder why. Why do they have such a...
And I wish I'd seen this video before I did my last video with the series of people with their eyes going white, right? Because this would fit right in, maybe.
high paranormal sighting rate? Maybe it's due to the energies. I don't know.
Or is it an owl?
Look at this footage. It was captured by an unidentified witness who saw what appeared to be this creature hanging off a palm tree. At first glance, you think maybe it's a cat. But then as you really focus in on it, this is not a cat. I don't know what this is. Take a look at this. Comment below and tell me what you see.
Come here, kitty. Look at the little kitty. I don't think so. It's kind of weird. Whoa. Wow, there we go. That's one way to end the video. But thank you very much. Makes you wonder. White-eyed creatures. 2 different witnesses, 3 videos. Could this finally be proof of how crop circles are made? Says, but we still don't know by who or what is making them and why. And as you know, most of you around these parts have probably seen that there's a classic video. I think it was filmed, late 80s, maybe 90s or something. It's old school footage, but you see a couple of orbs spinning around a crop and creating the circle underneath them, which is pretty interesting, just using the energy or whatever they do. Seen that one? They go really fast too. Like, I think there's 3 of them all working together, spinning around and stuff and creating these circles. I wonder if someone posted it up here, down here. No, that ain't it. I guess not. Okay, let's check this out.
Important videos for you, and they come from 2 different witnesses. The first 2 is from an unidentified farmer who wishes to remain anonymous. His security cameras over his farm captured what appears to be the creation of crop circles by unidentified objects. And the second video is from another witness's dash cam as he was driving down that country lane and saw over in a field what appears to be orbs creating some sort of crop field. Is this finally legitimate evidence of how crop circles are created? Now we have to ask, who's creating them and why? And it's interesting to note on the farmer's second video is his security camera is becoming extremely distorted by whatever these things are. And we also have to ask ourselves, is this AI? Comment below. Tell me what you think.
This one's different than the one I was talking about, though, but it looks like there's 3 here also. Whoa, it's more than 3. It's pretty crazy. Or is it AI? Unfortunately, that's a real question we have to ask most things. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I'm telling you, and I don't bring them all up here, but still week to week, there's still issues in airports and airplanes, even when they're on the ground lately. Many of them coming down, once in flight. Here's another one. This was in Montana, United States. It was 2 aircraft, unfortunately, bumped each other, and then this was the outcome. So unfortunately there's that. So yeah, like there's still more of this, chaos with the airplanes. Pete Hegseth announces the National Guard has officially begun mobilizing in Washington, D.C., and we saw a little bit of that, evidence of that a little bit ago with the bulldozers.
At your direction this morning, we mobilized the D.C. National Guard. It'll be operationalized by the Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, through the D.C. Guard. You will see them flowing into the streets of Washington in the coming week. At your direction as well, sir, there are other units we are prepared to bring in. Other National Guard units, other specialized units. They will be strong, they will be tough, and they will stand with their law enforcement partners. This is nothing new for DOD. As the president noted, at the border, we've got 10,000 troops down there who've been operating in defense cooperation areas, defense zones, where there's zero illegal crossings because of troops on strikers scanning the border. We've been protecting other people's borders for 20 years. It's about time we protect our own. And we're working with ICE and CBP. In Los Angeles, we did the same thing. working with the California National Guard, working with ICE officers. ICE officers deserve to do their job and not be attacked. We will work alongside all DC police and federal law enforcement to ensure this city is safe, this city is beautiful. And as I always say about President Trump to the troops, he has their back. And my message to the National Guard and federal law enforcement in Washington is, we have your back as well. Be tough, be strong, we're right behind you.
There we go. Pete Hegseth. Ladies and gents. Do you guys remember when he was on Fox? He was on Fox News many moons ago. Here's President Trump declaring a public safety emergency in D.C., and then this is the other half of that federalizing out there.
So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment. And I'll be making the appropriate notifications to Congress and to the mayor, our new DEA administrator, who's one of the top in the country. He better be Terry. If you're not, I'm going to get rid of you so fast. Terry Cole. Terry, thanks. Very good. We just got him. Most highly recommended person. And you'll be designated as the interim federal commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department. Okay? And you run them tough. They're good. You have a lot of good people. You have people that shouldn't be there. You also have people that shouldn't be there. They got in there because of woke. But you have a lot of great police. And those people are the ones that want to help you. So today.
There we go. Wanted to share a little bit of that news. News on the Prez. Let's see what this hers is. Oh, yeah. This is a really interesting article here. This is from Mediaite. Alarming new study finds that smartphones are ruining our brains at unprecedented speed. This is posted on the 9th of August. This year, of course. Says any parent with a child addicted to TikTok or Instagram is familiar with the concern that it's ruining their brain. Says, I'm of a certain age where I heard, okay, I don't want to Says, but what was once hyperbole has turned into science, and the results are beyond alarming. The universal addiction to smartphones is actively ruining our brains, especially Generation Z, and at a pace that should absolutely freak everybody out. The Financial Times recently published a devastating analysis of American personality changes using data from the Understanding America study, and the findings should stop you cold. In less than a decade, conscientiousness, the trait most closely linked to responsibility, follow-through, and self-control, has collapsed among young adults. For those aged 16 to 39, it's not a gradual erosion. It's a plunge from respectability into the low 30th percentile. Jeepers. Older adults who aren't addicted to smartphones, meanwhile, remain essentially unchanged. Love it. A graphic from the Post recently went viral. Young adults' personalities are changing with conscientiousness and freefall, it says. From 2018 to 2024. Crazy. And these are the age groups, I guess. Look at that. So right around the old 50, age of 50, in most cases, looking all right these days, eh? Gen X, hanging in the blue, baby. Neuroticism, agreeableness, extroversion. The neuroticism, they got high up. Okay. All right, there you go. Just want to share a little bit of that, but says while a full explanation of these shifts requires thorough investigation, and there will be many factors at work, smartphones and streaming services seem likely culprits. The advent of ubiquitous and hyper-engaging digital media has led to an explosion in distraction, as well as making it easier than ever to either not make plans in the first place or to abandon them. The sheer convenience of the online world makes real-life commitments feel messy and effortful, and the rise of time spent online and the attendant decline in face-to-face interactions enable behaviors such as ghosting. Wow. Well said, I would say. I said that part. Says, we're living through a revolution bigger than the printing press. That's not hyperbole. When Gutenberg's press arrived in the 15th century, it rewired the world by making knowledge scalable. It took centuries for that transformation to ripple through every corner of human society. The smartphone has done something similar, only it's moving at light speed and in the opposite direction. In less than 15 years, we've tethered billions of brains to an always-on, infinitely stimulating meta world. That's right. The Black Mirror, right? In our rooms, homes, pockets, whatever. A hybrid, but I'm just as guilty too. A hybrid of the broader digital ecosystem, the AI-powered feed that tells you what is conventionally known, and social media platforms that distort reality by promoting the loudest, most self-promotional sliver of humanity. Says this is not a tool for quiet reflection. It's a behavioral slot machine that lives in your hand. Yikes. All right. Go move on from this. If you want to see it all, you can see it over on Mediaite. Check that out. Check this out. Let me refresher. Give her a refresher.
Have you seen this video?
Have you guys ever seen this old clip of Bob Dylan where he talks about who he had to serve to get famous?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
You ever look at music that you've written and look back at it and say, whoa, that surprised me?
I used to. I don't
Automatic
do that anymore. I don't know how I got to write those songs.
What do you mean you don't know how?
Well, those early songs were like almost magically written. Darkness at the break of noon, shadows even the silver spoon, handmade blade, a child's balloon.
Eclipses both the sun and moon. To understand, you knew too soon. There is no sense in trying.
This Dylan classic, It's All Right, Ma, was written in 1964.
Piece the hollow horn plays wasted words, proves to warn that he not busy being born is busy dying.
Well, try to sit down and write something like that. There's a magic to that, and it's not Siegfried and Roy kind of magic. It's a different kind of a penetrating magic. And I did it. I did it at one time.
You don't think you can do it today?
Mm-hmm.
Does that disappoint you?
Well, you can't do something forever, and I did it once, and I can do other things now, but I can't do that.
Have you seen this?
It's pretty interesting, right? Because I don't know about you, but until I saw this clip, I'd never seen the rest of that, interview, or at least, going beyond him talking about, the chief of this world and the world beyond, all that. So, but it's nice to see the rest, because even that, kind of continues with that. And it's very interesting. It's unfortunate for each and every one of these people, man, every one of them that make that deal. Goodness gracious. Right? It's like this life is but a vapor, and it's over before you know it. So, wow. Bad move. Worst move ever, actually. Worst move ever, right? All right, good clip, I thought. Moving on. Also on YouTube, the Dave Durand YouTube channel, Boss Rutan versus the Devil, a fighter's conversion to the faith. I thought this was really cool, because I like Boss Rutan. Watched some of the fights and all that throughout the years. Big fan of watching his fights. And Three Lucky Dog, good to see you, man, and thank you. Oh, hey, I really appreciate that. You like the new videos, man? Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to see you, as always. All right, let's check it out.
Move your arms?
I could move my arms, move my legs. I tried to put my legs outside the bed so I could pull my to the pool, like a quarter mile up. After the first night, I asked my daughters, one slept upstairs, the other one downstairs, how their first night was. And the one upstairs, she says, it was good, but I had a visit from 2 boys. And I go, you mean spirits then, right? And she goes, yes. I go, wow, that's great. How old? She said, I don't know, 17. I go, you're not freaking out? She says, no, they were actually really nice, but one kept playing on the bed, and I told her, listen, I want to go to sleep, and I felt him pushing it, and then I could please stop, and he stopped. And I look at my wife, this is crazy, so I go to the computer if something ever happened in my house.
Yeah.
Well, in 2001, and we got there in 2007, in 2001, a road next to us, 4 kids, one girl and 3 boys, they went out of control on the freaking Christmas, poor parents, and they went through our wall. And 2 boys died, one 16 and one 17 years old.
In your house?
And we're walking outside. We see where they repaired the wall where these kids passed away. So now I knew, oh, this is not the life. There's 100% there is something. I mean, now I had the physical attack, see the curtain flying up. I mean, all the craziness. And now she tells me this story, which she didn't know. It was, and then I do a movie, Mall Cop. We're doing a movie, and my buddy Kevin is asking me, Kevin James in the break, if I want to sit in on this talk about how the world came together. Now, I already knew Kevin was a believer. I didn't know to what extent at all because I never was in there.
Yeah.
But I know Kevin 28 years. Yeah. You know, I know him for a long time. But he never forced anything upon me. Yeah. I think he was just waiting for the right time. Yeah. And he said it the right way. He didn't mention God or Jesus because I would have said, I'm in my room. I'll see you in an hour. Yeah. But he said how the world came together. I'm sitting there, light up a cigar at the Cabana, at the Wynn Hotel, at the pool, AC, hey, the Coke.
This is a place where people are always talking about Jesus. The Wynn Hotel.
100%.
Yeah, right.
The Satan is not present there at all.
Not at all. No.
And then Leo starts his conversation with the leaf fell from the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that leaf just reached its end destination. Let's backtrack that leaf. And he goes to the branch, and then he goes to the tree before.
And you're a kid sitting in school now thinking about that.
And I was like, where do I know this from? It still didn't click. I clicked later. I go, oh my God, that's that story. And then when Leo started doing that, and I suggest everybody listens to that 40-minute talk, everybody I knew who was not believing, who was with us, everybody was on board immediately. Mm-hmm. He did it so, and there was no room for, but there was zero room for, and because I'm that guy. Yeah. I'm going to try to fight it. I'm going to see it. But so now I knew it was a design. Well, a design needs a designer, which is God. So that step was easy to make. Yeah. You see, but the way he set it up to me, I think that was the best way to do it. And then I realized it. And then it was like, poof, it started going to mass. I always thought it was weird that they had priests there on the set and there was daily mass. And, but now it started.
A mall cop, you mean?
A mall cop. Did that really fast, but I promised her a big wedding, which we did in 2004.
Okay.
And then in 2015, I said that I want to wear for the church. I still to this day, I don't know if she said yes or no, but I do know that it was a Sunday, and the next day I couldn't get a hold of her. And then once she called me back, she saw that I called her. I go, hey, where were you? She goes, oh, I was at Mass. There was at noon. And I go, you were what? She said, Mass. He said, you want to get married for the church, right? She says, because I did my baptism, but I never did my confirmation. So I went to Mass and I just signed up for RCIA classes.
Wow.
So for her, didn't need anything. She just saw me change into a different guy and immediately jumped on board. Now, years before that, in 2008, we are doing the backyard with me. And the backyard is beautiful. I mean, my wife made So now I'm at the time already in 2016, I'm doing my examination of conscience every night. I do the Divine Mercy, I do the Angelus.
All right, I'll go ahead and move on. I want to share a little bit of that. Don't want to play all of his video, but that's Dave Durand YouTube channel. If you want to go check this out, see the rest of that testimony from Boss. Cloudy and quotes again. Do you remember last week we had that video and it was from, I think it was Australia, and the guy was on the ground just looking up and filming, and that's how the clouds looked, remember? But this is over London, Liverpool, United Kingdom, center mass, spread out a little. It's got those weird little, right? It's not natural. Or is it? Or is it something that now they claim is rare? Oh, that's just a blah, 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 you know? All right, there we go. I wanted to share some of that. Our dear friends, the United Kingdom. Plague of locusts descends on Ukraine. This is from July 28th, 2025, actually. Thousands of locusts invaded southern Ukraine, with authorities blaming Russia for the devastation its troops have caused to farmland and infrastructure. While this is not the first time Ukraine had experienced a swarm of locusts, the problem was bigger this year. One of the worst hit areas was the site of the former Kavka water reservoir, which drained after Russian troops took it out. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, we're going to move on. Just wanted to share that. Plague of locusts. Never a good thing. Here's another one. This is most people miss this sign of a psychopath, from Chase Hughes.
So psychopaths, you can't spot them because they're so good at imitating certain behaviors.
They're very good at it. One of the best ways to start, and I'm never going to say, like, here's the list on how to do that, because if anyone tells you they're like, here's the way to spot a psychopath, they're full of it. But you can start spotting a psychopath by looking at a person's face and seeing if they mirror your expressions. If I'm saying something exciting and it's cool, see how your eyebrows just went up, right?
Yeah.
That's called an eyebrow flash reflex. If I'm saying something sad, like my aunt just got put in the hospital or something like that, and you see somebody's face kind of fall a little bit, you're seeing a mirrored emotion in other people's face. Sometimes psychopaths don't know how to react. So you'll either see a lack of affect, where their face has no reaction to it, or you're going to see an inappropriate response. So they'll smile on accident because they're trying to fake an expression.
So psychopaths, you can't spot them because they're...
It's pretty interesting. Whenever I first saw this, it made me kind of start going back in my memory, different kinds of people I knew with kind of that personality, you know? Many of you've probably had your experience too, or some of you are that. Dun, dun, dun. This is from Touching the Afterlife. Really good one. Says, I was left behind in Second Coming. It's Brandon's testimony. And I guess I'll kind of jump in here. It's 50 minutes long, so we'll jump in some.
And I felt sick to my stomach. My stomach got very bitter. And so I'm walking while processing this, and I sit down on the side of the road, and I hear this voice in my head say, "You going to give me your life?" And I was like, and I started thinking about the things I had on me, the drugs I had, the things I were using, my dip, my vape. I was addicted, and my life choices where I was. I had been homeless, in rehab, in jail, had went through an abortion. I was like, I don't know if I'm worthy, And I just heard this voice say, "Give me your life." And at that moment, I felt this tug to let go of my lifestyle. And I was resisting. I could feel a resistance, but I was like, you know what? This life has brought me nothing but trauma, pain, and hurt. And I said, you know what, Lord? I surrender. And all I could smell was something dead in the woods. And I just knew that the life I was living was death. But then I looked to the right, and behind this tree, the sun creeped out. And I heard the Lord say, but through the sun is life. And I was crying my eyes out, telling Jesus Christ I needed him. I was bawling. And he filled me with the Holy Spirit on the side of the road. And I started folding this Yu-Gi-Oh card up. I couldn't explain why. What does that look like? It's a cross. And right here it says 1996, the year I was born. And so God used something from my childhood to reveal himself to me. Something that's technically of the world, but because I had a past with it, he used it to reveal himself. He took what was meant for evil and used it for good. And so the next, I was by my job when this happened. And so that was on a Thursday. Well, on a Friday, the next day I go into work, and I look, as I'm going into work, I'm in the parking lot, and I look to the left because I'm working in a concrete plant, making concrete manholes and storage drains and all that stuff, storm systems. And so when I look to the left, I see smoke ascending up into the sky, right, in a straight line. But the way these clouds are placed behind the smoke is it's like a cross and a 7. You ever seen a 7 with a dash in it? That's kind of what it looked like. But I was focused on the cross part. And I was like, that's a sign. Like, whoa, that's a cross and a 7. That's, whoa, that's amazing, right? And it just gave me confidence that God is with me.
I love it.
Well, that was the beginning of a journey with the Lord. He was telling me that in 7 days, I was going to have an encounter with him. I just didn't realize that's what he was saying. And so that 7 days later, on October 19th, 2018, on a Friday, I had an encounter with the Lord. I saw his second coming. And so what had transpired on that day was that I was in a war with my life in a battle with addiction. I was battling between using drugs or not. And so the enemy had been working on me to the point where I had went into repentance, right? But the enemy had been working on me to the point where I started thinking, well, as long as I believe, I can use these drugs. As long as I believe in Jesus, I'm good. And so that day, I get my checks on Friday. I went and cashed my check. And that day I went with my coworkers and we went and bought some stuff. And I relapsed. And having relapsed.
Thanks, Mash. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much.
I was outside. Dope, man. And I'm like, no, I'm serious, but they won't believe me because I had used narcotics. I had used drugs. But the Lord used it to open my eyes because he was chastising me. And so I go inside and I'm working. I'm trying to get my mind off of it, but I just can't. It's running through my mind. And all the while, I had these wireless headphones in and I'm listening to music, and I know my playlist because in this journey, I had transferred from secular music to only listening to gospel music. And even though that I was struggling with sin, I was listening to worship music because I believed and I had got saved. And all the songs are talking about going to heaven, going home. It's time to get ready to go. And I'm like, this is not normal. I know my playlist. And I'm just like trying to focus on work and I just can't. It's just heavy in my spirit. And this angelic figure appears in the wall. And he's pointing to these stairs that lead outside to where I was when I saw the cherubim and when I saw the glory of the Lord. And I'm like, I'm not going back out there. I said, no, I'm not going back out there. And so I turn around. And when I turn around, I see another angelic figure. And this other angelic figure is pointing to these mud boot prints that are on the floor leading the opposite direction. And I instantly knew mud boot prints, it represented the flesh and it represented going the other way. And I was like, well, I don't want to choose death. I realized there that these angels were sent to give me a message, choose life or choose death. And I was like, well, I'm choosing life, even though I'm scared. So at this point, I'm following the voice in my head, this Holy Spirit leading me, and I go up these stairs and I go back outside to where I was. But instead of going all the way out, I stopped at this concrete picnic bench because I was like, I'm not going to go all the way. I'm going to go a little bit, but not all the way. And I sit down at this picnic bench while I'm listening to this music talking about going to heaven. And there's the infinity sign painted on this concrete bench. And I knew there, I was like, eternal life? Is this what you're talking? What is going on? And I hear the voice of the Lord, so the word of the Lord say, walk out and look into the sun. And so as I walk out and I look into the sun, by this point, I'm like, what do I have to lose? There's no stopping this. I don't want to die. And so I walk out, I look into the sun. And as I look into the sun, I see the Lord. I see Jesus. And he has the crown of thorns on his head. And I see him carrying the cross. And while this picture, this video playing in the sun, it's kind of like that. It was like, you ever seen somebody take a book and flip through it? It's like a drawing running. That's kind of how it looked. It was like the word was becoming alive to me and I was seeing it. And while he's carrying the cross, clouds are passing over the sun, but I'm able to see through it. And so these clouds are passing through. And as I'm watching this, I hear the Lord say, crucify yourself. And I'm like, crucify myself? okay. And so this is what I do. I stand up as I'm looking into the sun, and I stick my arms out as if I'm being crucified. And I began to do this by faith. I crucify myself. And while this happens, I begin to feel this fire in my legs, a fire like I've never felt before. It was waves in my legs, and it would rise. And because of the level of pain that it brought, I was like, oh no, I can't do this. And I went down to my knees because I remember the word says every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So I'm on my knees and I'm like, okay. But then and I'm still listening to music saying, go to heaven. We're going to heaven. It's time to go. And I hear the word Lord say, stand back up and crucify yourself. So I do it again. I do it a second time. I go to crucify myself, and here comes that flame again. And I'm like, oh, nope, I can't do this. Nope, I'm not doing this. And then 20 minutes, but it was 10 hours I'm in this trance.
All right, I'll go and stop there. I wanted to share some. It's pretty crazy, though. Not crazy in a bad way, just really wild, interesting. Posted 4 days ago on Touching the Afterlife. So if you want to go check out the rest of Brandon's testimony, I suggest you do, man. He's a very interesting guy. Has some very interesting supernatural experience.
Watch this video with me. People are more afraid of Satan.
Huh? Afraid of who?
Satan.
Why?
Because he's the one that's so evil and bad.
Here it come.
Yep.
How can you be afraid of the created instead of being more afraid of the creator? Ow. Ow. Yes, Satan is evil. He hate God. He know he can't do nothing to God. So what do he go after? He go after God's own heart. Us. Because God created us in his image and his likeness. He loves us. Has no desire for no one to go to hell. That's not his will. He didn't create hell for us. He created hell for the devil and his bastard imps.
That's right.
But if you don't want to be with him, where else you gonna go? He's not gonna force you to come in his house and you don't want to. Oof. Yeah, God judges with love. People say, oh, that's evil. No, it ain't. He love you. How he gonna force you to come live in his house when you want to go live in Satan's house? And you prove that you want to go live in Satan's house because this is how you live your life on the earth. So I ain't gonna make you go live with me. I love you. So this is what you want to do? I know I ain't gonna never see you again. You don't understand that. I know I ain't gonna never be you ain't gonna never be able to talk to me or be in my presence no more. Okay, I get that. I love you enough to let you go.
Wow. Watch this video with.
That's deep. It's real deep. And how dangerous free will can be, you know? He gave all of us that. He gave us free will.
The fastest way to read a human being is to keep one question in your head. It is, what does this person want me to feel about them? And what do they want me to notice? That's going to show you the beginnings of understanding the mask that people wear. The mask is made up of the things that this person built to conceal shame. It's a public weapon to use shame. You could just log into Twitter and you'll see it in 30 seconds. You'll see how shame is being weaponized. So we wear these personas and these masks to cover up something. 99% of us have a mask. How thin it is, how thick it is, that's what changes and what the mask is made of. So if I'm seeing somebody who's acting like he's posturing all the time, he's yelling, he's just puffing his chest out, the mask is usually the opposite of what it's concealing. So I'm seeing a fearful little boy that's afraid of being hurt. The better you get at understanding humans, the more that you're going to see loneliness, shame, and suffering. The fastest way to read a human being is to keep one question in your head. It is, what does this person want me to feel about them? And what do they want me to notice? That's going to show you the beginnings of understanding the mask that people wear. The mask is made up of the things that this person built to conceal shame. It's a public weapon to use shame. You could just log into Twitter and you'll see it in 30 seconds. You'll see how shame is being weaponized. So we wear these personas and these masks to cover up something. 99% of us have a mask. how thin it is, how thick it is, that's what changes, and what the mask is made of. So if I'm seeing somebody who's acting like he's posturing all the time, he's yelling, he's just puffing his chest out, the mask is usually the opposite of what it's concealing. So I'm seeing a fearful little boy that's afraid of being hurt. The better you get at understanding humans, the more that you're going to see loneliness, shame, and suffering.
Yeah, this guy's great. What's his name? Chase Hughes. Like I said, I just found his work this week, so that's why I've got a couple of up here.
If you
from
stop
him.
going to church, would your relationship with God fall apart? Church attendance is good, but it's not the goal. God's desire is not just to see you in a seat on Sundays, but to see his word alive in you on Monday and the rest of the week. You can't sit in church for years and still have a heart away from him. The Pharisees, they showed up for every religious event, yet they missed Jesus when he stood right in front of them. Do not merely listen to the word. Do what it says. James 1:22. If your faith only exists inside the walls of a building, it's not faith, it's a performance. God's not counting your visits. He's looking at your obedience. When God looks at you, does he see devotion or performance? If you stop
Good
going
point,
to
right? I like that. Good point from this fella. Appreciate it, sir. Thanks for your service in that respect. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker lambasted for new disastrous policy requiring mental health screenings for children.
The city of Chicago's new contract with their teachers union has
It
a
is.
controversial new provision that says, quote, all students and staff are permitted to use the bathroom or locker room that corresponds with their gender identity. This after the Board of Education found there were 470 sexual misconduct complaints against Chicago public school employees in 2022.
Illinois parent and senior director for labor policy at the Illinois Policy Institute, Miley Smith, joins us now. Miley, that is a very high number of sexual assaults and other problems with teachers. So why would they allow this policy? Because my understanding of it is anybody who says they identify as somebody from the other gender, whether they are students or teachers, are permitted into the bathroom of their choice.
Correct. There are no caveats, no parameters in this provision. It simply says that all students and staff are permitted to use the bathroom of their choice. So a biological male teacher could go into a girl's locker room at any time. And this is irresponsible in a school district that has been rocked by sexual misconduct claims. But unfortunately, the Chicago Teachers Union is a radical, progressive teachers union. And as it ramps up its focus on social justice and political demands in its negotiations, it's moving away from what's best for kids, and it leaves less that parents can do to advocate for their students.
So obviously this is really bad.
Excuse me, Alicia. I'm trying to see your name here. Alicia DMD. I didn't mean to hide your message. That was an accident. So sorry. It wasn't even anything bad. I don't think. But no, so I'm sorry about that. Alicia DMD. It was an accident. Sorry. All right, let's go ahead and move on from this news story. We understand. Still some of these battles taking place. Man gives urgent warning to the world, 2025-2026. This is on Jason A's channel, posted 3 days ago. So let's see. There's a couple things here. So we'll check a couple clips out.
It's getting weird. Part infinity. Life has never been the same since COVID. I was on my morning walk right now, and I was just like, listen, yo, it's not the same. And I've been trying to figure out, like, why? Why is it not the same, right? And I don't know. I can't figure it out. Because I'm kind of mixed in the point where it's like, okay, is it because of COVID? Or is it just because I'm getting older? And I can't tell. I want to blame it on COVID. Like, I think back to, like, pre-COVID, like, circa 2018 and before. right? And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? I can't even really remember that. I can, but it's like I don't remember the feeling. It's like a weird, faint feeling. And the only way I get that feeling again is through music. I listen to music, I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that. You know? I don't know, man. Anybody else feeling this?
All right, good point, sir. Now let's move on to this next clip. Here we go.
About how their life, this is what they're saying in the comments section, that their life doesn't feel the same to them anymore. Kind of like they're half in this world and half out of this world. And I just want you guys to know, for the ones that feel that way, that you're not alone, because I feel that way every single day.
Weird.
Every single day, I no longer feel like the person I once was. And it's almost like I don't even recognize life anymore. I mean, here I've been on this planet for 54 years, but this world feels so foreign to me. And ever since COVID, it seemed like we went through some kind of like time shift, and it just seems like everything is happening so much faster now. I know that things go faster as you get older. I understand that, but I'm not talking about that kind of thing. It seems like everything is in like extreme fast forward. The days fly by. There just seems like there isn't enough time to even get 2 things done in a day. Totally. 2 things before it's time to go to bed. It's like, Jesus, I didn't even have time to do 2 things. I have been trying to convey in a video what I'm talking about, and I'm not able to do it, you guys. I'm just not able to put my finger on it. How in the hell did we go from what we remember the world being like to this? How did it come to this? Where every single thing is a fortune. I was talking to Roger today because I had to run a couple dump truck loads of soil for him today because he's got a new mobile home coming into his park. And when he come to pick me up, he told me, he says, Jesus, Kev, he says, today, just to go out your front door before you even do anything, he said, it's $100. Because I told him I went to the dentist today, and just to have this tooth right here, a filling in that tooth right there, because I was getting a tiny little cavity, $560 today for a little tiny filling in that tooth. And I told Roger, I said it was $560. And he's like, holy shit. He says, yeah, it cost a lot of money just to leave your house today. What the hell happened to life? What the hell happened to this world? What the hell happened to people? Nobody wants to do anything anymore. Today is just gray, like this sweatshirt. It's like life lost all of its excitement, all of its happiness, all of its joy, all of everything that made up a wonderful life. It's like none of it exists anymore. People are just like robots going about their daily routine and their business, and they're all just going to bed the same as everyone else, and the days just fly by, and nobody does anything anymore. Nope.
Here we go. All right, I want to play some of that. You can check the rest out over on Jason A. YouTube channel to see the rest of that video.
You know, I'm wondering, Joe, if the Almighty ain't calling you.
Calling me how? On the phone?
Calling you, man.
Hey-o.
What do you mean? In what way?
I'm just wondering. A lot of people get mad about me talking about this, but we will never choose to believe. The whole message of the cross is foolishness. I mean, seriously? Some dude died on a cross? That represents weakness. That represents defeat. The message of the cross is foolishness to man. You will never believe that. And the only way that you can believe that is if the Almighty, in his grace, basically makes you alive spiritually. As I wonder if you are one of the Almighty's elect.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And if you are, you better hold on to your britches, son. Like, it's exciting for me to be able to hope that the Almighty is indeed calling you. Like, that's exciting, dude. Like, literally, I prayed for you last night. You know,
That's so cool. I love it. I'd love to see Joe Rogan find Jesus. Be brilliant.
This is insane. Wesley Huff is about to correct Billy.
Yeah, this guy, here's one that we covered every now and then on the shows, on these Saturday shows. Billy Carson, a bit of a new ager that started really, coming up, making the rise. I saw him a lot on TikTok, and he's on Instagram, and YouTube channel starting to get big, but always pressing a lot of nonsense, anti-Jesus, and he's just a myth, a legend, and just whatever, right? But he's one of these new ages that popped up and started, really spreading a lot of nonsense. Anyway, he got busted hardcore when he went up against Wesley Huff, which was probably a mistake. But here's a little bit about that, if you didn't know.
Timothy Carson on the Sinai Bible.
According to the Sinai Bible, Jesus wasn't crucified in that Bible.
Do you mind if I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
When you say the Sinai Bible, what are you referring to specifically? Refer to the Sinai Bible. Would you be referring to Codex Sinaiticus? Like the codex that comes? Okay, that's why I was trying to get some clarification, because I actually have a facsimile. So I have a photocopy of Codex Sinaiticus that I work with in my office. So I have it here. And the only reason I asked for clarification is because Sinaiticus in particular is just a 4th century Greek manuscript. Its text of the Gospels reads almost identical to the modern Greek text that we develop translations from. When you say that it denies the crucifixion or that the crucifixion isn't there, I mean, I can go on right now, Codex Sinaiticus, and I can look up Matthew 27. Where it has Jesus being crucified, and that's in Codex Sinaiticus or John 19 or any of the other ones. So my confusion is that it doesn't read any differently.
Where was that piece
I found
discovered?
the text where I was referencing. Actually, I was misquoted. I misquoted there. It's the Gospel of Barnabas.
Hello.
Never got crucified. As a matter of fact, the Sinai Bible, Jesus was crucified. Well, that doesn't exist in the Sinai Bible. The Sinai Bible. The Sinai Bible, but then you go to the Sinai Bible, in the Sinai Bible, and the Sinai Bible. According to the Sinai Bible, Jesus wasn't crucified in that Bible.
This is insane. What?
People are busted. And that was just one little example. I mean, they did a podcast, a debate, maybe a year ago. I don't know. It's been a while, right? But it totally put Billy Carson on a, it shut him down. And Clint W., how you doing, man? I just saw you comment on this. I wanted to find it. Let me see. You said, Clint W. said something to the effect of now Billy Carson no longer talks New Age religious stuff, but he talks about politics. So I could see that. That makes sense. Someone else said he's a grifter. So, right? That makes sense.
This happened twice in 1975. While driving to an interview with renowned Mexican journalist Pedro Fariz, Carlos was intercepted. 2 identical black Grand Marquis sedans resembling diplomatic vehicles boxed in his car, one pulling alongside and the other cutting in front. The occupants, 4 men, emerging in unison and identical in appearance. They were described as followed: pale skin, blonde or light hair, Nordic, almost Scandinavian features, or as Carlos put it in his interview, they look like Vikings. Emotionless expressions, and their behavior felt robotic, stiff, and unnervingly synchronized. One man leaned into Carlos's window and said in Spanish, "If you appreciate your life, don't talk anymore." They returned to their cars and vanished without a trace, but it doesn't stop there. You see Carlos was intercepted once again by a second encounter from the so-called Men in Black, only this time before meeting Dr. J. Allen Hynek, one of the lead investigators for Project Blue Book, renowned physicist and astronomer. So days later, just before a private breakfast with Dr. Hynek, Carlos parked outside the hotel. He ascended the steps, and he was struck in the back by a hand. Turning around, he saw one of the same 4 men from the earlier incident, identical face, same robotic demeanor. The man told him, "You are not going to see Dr. Hynek. Turn around, go, get lost." Obviously, later, he would tell Hynek what happened, and UFO researchers Ray Stanford and Pedro Fariz would help him reconstruct the events, confirming their interest in the Men in Black phenomenon and even linking it to NASA's classified research into paranormal activity. Now, we know this now to be the Men in Black. These guys show up everywhere.
All right, I'm going to stop there. I want to play some of that. Those are fun, interesting stories, aren't they? Reminds me of the old Art Bell days. This says, this is a really nice little doom break for us here. Wait till you see this baby's face. It says it all whenever Dad joins in to start singing.
Wheels on the bus go round and round all through the town. The door on the bus goes open and shut, open and shut, open and shut.
The doors on the bus go open and shut. Oh.
And round the wheels on the bus go round and round all through the town. The door on the bus goes open and shut, open and shut,
One more time.
open and shut.
The doors on the bus go open and shut. Oh.
That's so awesome.
All
right, I'll go move on. It's a good one though, right? Man, love it. What an expression. This is pretty cool. I think I even put this in a video a long time ago, this information, but I know it's been a long time, so I wanted to share this right here. Something real cool you may not know about donkeys.
People still find it insane that Jesus used a donkey to ride into Jerusalem on. He went into Jerusalem on a donkey, okay? That was one ironic because he was a king. But remember, Zechariah says that the king will come into Zion riding on a donkey. And what's really intriguing about this, because it's not about that. What it's about is that donkeys have a cross on its back. Donkeys have a cross on its back. The only animal with the cross on its back. I mean, look closely right there. And it's so detailed, right? Because you have the longer part, which is the bottom part right here. You have the cross right there at the top middle, and then it goes up. And I feel like Jesus just leaves Easter eggs or reminders for us where it's just like, dude, like, always remember this story. I came as a servant who really is a king, but I came lowly riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, not a horse, not chariots of fire, not any of the things the kings did in those days, but he came on a donkey. How do they depict donkeys in our world? Think about the movie Shrek. They depict them as dumb and, you know, the little step cousin of a horse. You know what I mean? Like, they don't think highly of a donkey, but Jesus used this to show greatness in a donkey. He used it to show holiness in a donkey. And now today we still see a cross on the back of a donkey.
Love it. Isn't that cool? Yeah, that's a great one. If you never heard about that before, some people haven't, I'm sure. That's from Zealous for Jesus over on TikTok. If you're interested.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you watch this? Check it out and then we'll talk.
Okay. Oh, look. It goes into the water. What the? Look at that. That means big trouble for people in the future, near future. That's how I see it. It's pretty crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing technology.
Okay, so what we just saw is a hybrid air and underwater 3D printed drone, which was designed and built by a small team of undergrad students in Denmark at Aalborg University. So after watching this, what comes to your mind? What use cases or other things come straight into your mind? Comment below. Let me know.
Yeah, let me know in the live chat what you think that something like that could be used for. You know, if it's a good thing, a bad thing. What are your thoughts? That's on TikTok, Hallucination Hippies channel on TikTok.
I'm at Whole Foods and I was about to pay for my groceries with my at Whole Foods and I was about to pay for my groceries with my that's the closest thing.
We might really just be cooked. Like, that's not cool, bro. That's not exciting. Do you know what comes? Do you know if that's a building block toward? And they don't. If you read the comments of that video, and this is no strike against that lady. If you read the comments of that video, you will see people who are agreeing, and they're like, oh wow, like they're so enamored and they think it's cool. Now you do have a good amount of comments of people who obviously see the red flag, who have probably heard of Revelation 13 from someone in their family, or if they read and study the Bible themselves, like we all should be doing. But either way, some people there do know that this isn't good, but others are like, oh wow, like, you know, technology is advancing and people really want this to happen. Are we serious? For the people who are curious, how will so many people sign their soul over to the beast system and lose it forever and get branded? This is how. Technology, innovation, keeping up with the Joneses, being modern, progressing, striving forward into the future. You see, invention, innovation. They're selling people into literally giving up their souls. It's bad works out here. It's bad work.
All right, good stuff there, sir. Remove full screen. Blade of Judah is his channel on TikTok.
This is not time lapse, manipulated video. This is actually live right now. The camera every once in a while moving.
Right. But when Christians tell you that there is a spiritual war taking place that's going to begin to bleed into this physical realm, we're the crazy ones. Bro, honestly, the truth is, when you get to a point in your studies, in your walk with God, or you just accept you're going to be looked at as crazy. Because we've been new about that. We've been new that type of stuff took place. Whatever's going on right there, yes, they always explain it away with lightning, some sort of scientific explanation. But ultimately, the Bible says this, that it is a foolishness. God will use the foolish things of the earth to confound the wise. He will use the weak things of the earth to confound the mighty. And the Bible says that preaching is foolishness. Because in this world, the Bible also says in Ecclesiastes that people can't find out why and how God exists because God put the world in their heart. And Jesus told us that the mysteries of the kingdom are not given to everyone. So yeah, someone like me and other Christians who are trying to spread the word and blow the trumpet will say that that is more than likely a supernatural phenomenon. At the very least, it has a supernatural origin with a biological or like a geographic explanation. But it's very much so, there are things taking place and the veil is thinning. That's why things look so crazy and things are getting so weird. But like I said, and like the Bible says, call me foolish, but the foolish things of this world will confound the wise.
Yeah, I've always liked that one too, for sure. It applies to, I think it even applies to what I do around here and what many of you do when you're decoding things and the things within the system. And hey, thanks ASEN and FYPS. I appreciate that. The beast system. Yes. So yeah, but this was a Blade of Judah. Once again, invisible war. The veil is thinning. I agree, sir.
Big tech elites like Mark Zuckerberg shield their own children from the screens that they push on ours, using kids as data points to scroll and feed the algorithm. So what's going on here? Let's dig in. The CEO of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, got caught running an illegal private Montessori school at his Silicon Valley mansion. This wasn't just a homeschool pod, it was a full-on operation for 14 kids, including his own 2 daughters, with teachers, an administrator, and a tech-free, hands-on Montessori-style curriculum. Now, Montessori is an educational philosophy pioneered by Dr. Maria Montessori. It emphasizes independence, mixed-aged learning, and 0 screens, which sounds ironic, right? The guy whose empire thrives on addictive apps keeps his kids in a tech-free bubble. But he got caught because this school broke zoning laws. Neighbors were reporting traffic chaos from drop-offs and field trips, and city officials confirmed this violation. His team claims it was just a pandemic pod to offer children stability with no tuition charged. But worse yet, Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan, recently pulled funding from their charity school for low-income kids while their own get the VIP treatment. Wow. And this isn't new. Steve Jobs, Apple's late visionary, He famously banned iPhones and iPads from his own kids, prioritizing books and real-world experiences instead. Elon Musk started a Montessori school in Texas, and Jeff Bezos is building Montessori-inspired preschools. These tech titans know their products are addictive and invasive, and so they opt out for their own families. Meanwhile, our kids in North America's public schools are data mines for these tech giants. Google's Chromebooks, Gmail, and Classroom have dominated education, used for everything from assignments to grading. But hundreds of millions in lawsuits reveal that Google's been illegally harvesting kids' data from their web activity, location, even voice recordings to sell advertisers or train AI and build character profiles for future consumers. New Mexico's Attorney General called them out years ago for spying on millions of school kids, and research from Internet Safety Labs shows that 96% of ed tech apps share kids' personal info with third parties without parental consent.
Not cool. All right, there's a quick report from Rebel News. Over on YouTube, they're on Rumble, BitChute, they're all over the place. I wanted to share this because over the last few weeks, I've seen some people comment about Richie the Barber. They've asked me what he's up to or if I knew anything about him. So I went and took a look, and just a couple days ago, and it turns out it was on the day he was doing this live broadcast, 2 hours, 44 minutes. And it was a trip because he got look at that, over 100,000 views on this. It was just streamed 2 days ago. But I went to his channel, and his channels, or most of his videos on his channel don't really break 1,000. But, he's totally turned over to Jesus and preaching and things like that. But anyway, so he's still around. But here, I'll replace some of this, and we'll just kind of jump in and bounce around a bit. And Hendry Grimberg, that's such a cool name. And thank you so much, my friend. That's very kind of you. Thank you. All right, let's check out some Richie the Barber. What's he been up to lately? You decide.
Yeah, anybody else? We got a lot of haters on. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it is out here crazy. All right, so that time is, I gotta leave that. I'm gonna leave. Is the I am. Come on now. Don't mock God. Don't you do it. We gotta know it's not them. It's what's inside of them that's mocking God, because what's inside them is mad, because they can see the Spirit of the living God in me, right? Who do you see? Who do you see? I do it every time. During Deliverance, I look right in their eyes. I say, who do you see? Who do you see? And they always say, Jesus. Ah. And I say, come, go back to the pit. Go to the pit where you belong in Jesus' mighty name. Come on. Come on now. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Where's that? Thank you, Big Mac Sauce. Thank you, Priest of Love. They know, dude. They know. They know. They're all big talk. You're all big talk. But when it comes down to it, they submit to the King, Jesus Christ. Come on. You got to submit to the King, Jesus Christ.
That's right, buddy.
You got to submit. They know the rules. They know the rules. You should be scared. You should have fear of the Lord. Have fear of the Lord. Fear of the Lord. Come on. What does it say in the Holy Bible? I'm paraphrasing. Fear of the Lord brings wisdom. Come on. Where there's fear of the Lord, there's wisdom. Come on. God is power. Come on. Glory to the King Jesus. That's right. Come on. That's right. I don't believe once saved is always saved. No. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's a lie from the pits of hell. You can't be saved and you're saved always. No. Now, Jesus will never let his sheep go. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Brandy, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brandy. Peace and love. Okay, so if you do drugs, it's a gateway, an opening. It's an opening for dark forces to enter. If you do any kind of drugs, any kind of alcohol, spirits is called, it's called spirits. So when you consume alcohol, you open up that doors. Now, there's a lot of people that want to bend scriptures. They want to bend scriptures because they want the Bible to be for their life. This Bible is not for like you to bend the scriptures. It's here. It says it. It says, be alert, be sober-minded, for the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking to devour his prey. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it says that, right? Lucifer is the enemy. Lucifer, he's known as a lion seeking to devour his prey. It says, be alert, right? Be alert. So if you're consumed in weird stuff, you're all loopy, right? Now, you can say all you want, but it says be alert. Jesus never got drunk. Oh, but Jesus made wine. Yeah, he made wine. But there's a lot of scriptures that says be sober-minded. You don't see the movie Charles Manson? Look at the documentary. His girls, Charlie's girls, right? They said, oh, we heard when we were away from Charlie, all we heard was his voice. We just kept on hearing his voice. Yeah, they did a bunch of acid because acid is a doorway to demonic forces, right? Come on. My story, I talk about my story all the time. I can't keep on talking it over and over. My testimonies on YouTube, just look up Richie the Barber testimony. Everybody wants to know, and I can't keep on talking about it all every 5 minutes. I already did a brief thing. I'm so sorry, but you can look it up for yourself. Richie the Barber testimony. There's many different testimonies on there, different versions. Yes, I go on stage and I talk about it. I go to places and I evangelize and I talk about my salvation, my freedom, what Jesus did. You can check it out for yourself. But let's go back to the Charlie's girls. They even said it for themselves.
All right, I'll go and move on. I just want to jump in. Like I said, it's like 2 hours, 44 minutes. But that's Richie the Barber. You can go check it out. This is streamed 2 days ago. Somehow, it's weird, man. Like I said, over 100,000. I mean, good for him. I just wonder where it comes from. I wonder if somebody posted the live stream like on Reddit or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, not sure, but good for him. It's a good amount of views. Yeah, you should go to his channel if you never heard his testimony. You can find it there. And he's been the real deal, man. He completely changed everything. They had him and this guy, Chris, the camera guy, which is a friend of his. They really had a good thing going there for a while. It was really entertaining kind of show where they would get together and just kind of talk about current events and even talk about symbolism, break that stuff down. And Richie's been out in Hollywood so long. He's seen a lot, been around a lot. So he'd kind of tell stories sometimes. And, it was pretty interesting. And then something happened. There was some big drama there between the two. I don't know what it was, but it ruined it. Like it just kind of broke them up. They stopped doing the show. And then shortly after that, Richie found Jesus. But my thing is, if that's real and that's what it took to make him find Jesus, then good, because it's the most important thing anybody in this whole world could ever find is him, All right. So there's Richie the Barber, available on YouTube. This was just really crazy. Did you know they had this? This was the World Humanoid Robot Games opened in Beijing. This also was streamed just 2 days ago. And it's a real thing. Check a little bit of this out. Look at that X in the center of it. That's wild. It's so weird. All right, here we go. I guess not. Okay, well, they got these too. There was that weird, you Gen Xers will remember that boxer type board or boxer type tabletop game they used to have. You'd be sitting there boxing somebody else, one of their characters. I guess this is a thing though. So there's that. They have all kinds of things going on. Even this soccer, it looks like. See how that works. if we can. Guess not. All right. This is so weird. Look at that. There's people doing the dancing around the robots. They're dancing. Just kind of breezing through here. There we go. Oops, one of them fell down. Here's some more. All right, so just wanted to show a little bit of that. If you would like to go see some more, go check it out at, I'm trying to see the background there, what that is. Oh, okay. Something hanging up here. I was curious what that was. But there you go. It's over on GB News. Check them out. Then we have this.
Dedicated entirely on robots. Let's see what's inside. In Beijing's E-Town, there's a shopping mall dedicated entirely on robots. Let's see what's inside.
Oh. The giant robotic hand seemed to announce the era of robots in display windows has officially arrived. More than 100 kinds of robots get lifetime care, integrating robot sales, spare parts supply, after-sales service, and information feedback. Every robot has a clear price tag.
Even among humanoid robots alone, the price gaps are staggering.
2 humanoid robots can carry price tags differing by tenfold.
Dang, look at that.
These serve specialized functions. Their capabilities vary significantly across different contexts, like industrial settings, medical applications, and daily companionship. This functional divergence directly impacts production costs.
I wonder, will factory owners actually spend 2 million RMB or like less than 300,000 US dollars on a logistics bot and a transport droid?
B 端的绝大部分用户呢，可能采购的都是一些工业类的机器人，或者说这种
For B2B clients, the majority procure industrial or task-specific robots. E-Town currently offers sales subsidies for these professional-grade machines. On the consumer side, chess-playing and companion robots dominate on-site sales. Total revenue has reached nearly 15 million RMB or $2 million US.
Are you really willing to purchase one like this or one like that?
Yes. We'll have a big demand in the future because it's a new area of a new direction in the whole world, like cars.
All right, we're going to move on. Very interesting glimpses into this final full-on digital system, right? Big Brother is watching you, it says, but this homeowner made him back down. Let's see. I think this is the story.
Paying tolls. I hate paying them. But guess what? Like you, no doubt, I pay them. There are some people, however, who view it a little bit differently. They don't think they should pay tolls, which, if you live in New York City, is a bigger deal than ever now that congestion pricing has been put into effect. That's $9 to go into most parts of Manhattan from 60th Street on down. That's a lot of money on top of a toll if you're coming in from out of state. But as I reported in the New York Post, there were all too many people buying devices that alter their license plates. They block numbers. They change numbers. They create so-called license plate blockers that obscure the numbers and letters on the license plate. They go through the traffic camera and the license plate cannot be read, so they cannot be charged for coming into the city. Now, I don't think that's fair, and I hope the cops clamp down more than ever. As reported in my story, during the first couple days this week, they ticketed 200 drivers. I hope they ticket 500.
All right, I'm going to move on. I want to get a little bit of that coverage in. New York City, it's always something out there. Week to week, it really is. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that mayoral race. Wolverhampton Council has been accused of introducing a, quote, fat tax by charging more for wider burial plots. At one cemetery, it will cost families $2,700 if they need to buy a 6-foot wide plot, a 20% increase on the cost of a standard 5-foot grave. It's not very nice. A little extra profit off the dead, eh? A little something on the side. Here's Mel Gibson, and this is from a friend of his, I guess. It said, Mel asked me to post this message, so let's check this out.
Mel Gibson here. Mel Gibson speaking from my office. It is me. I just want to say that I have no presence on social media. I don't have any Facebook or any domain or any website, no sites at all. So that if anyone is giving money to some of these websites that claim to be me, you're being scammed, okay? Because I don't have any presence on social media. Okay. No.
There you go, man. Good to know. Keep that in mind. Mr. Mel Gibson. Legend. Truly a legend in this world. Phone calls longer than 10 minutes will be recorded and archived in the United Kingdom now. I told y'all. It's always something over here. Oh, I gotta refresh it. Sorry. That happens.
Recorded in the UK from January 1st, 2026. Yes, 10 minutes will be automatically recorded in the UK from January 1st, 2026. Yes, seriously. Under a new regulation introduced by the Home Office and approved by Ofcom, all calls made from mobile or landline numbers that last more than 10 minutes will be automatically recorded and stored by your network provider, including EE, Vodafone, O2, and 3. The recordings will be kept securely for up to 30 days, after which they will be deleted unless officially requested by law enforcement or the courts. According to a leaked policy draft reported by The Guardian, this measure is part of a broader strategy to combat telephone scams, organized fraud, and criminal networks using encrypted or untraceable communication. The rule will apply to personal and business calls alike, with exemptions only for verified secure lines such as emergency services, legal professionals, and medical staff. But even those will be subject to random audits to prevent misuse. Telecom companies will be legally required to encrypt and protect all recordings and must provide access to the Metropolitan Police, National Crime Agency, and HMRC on demand. Supporters argue this is a necessary step to catch fraudsters and protect the public from phone-based scams, which have cost UK residents over £1.3 billion in the past 2 years.
There we have it. See if there's anything down here. No, okay. Go ahead and move on. There you go. United Kingdom, man. It's really one of those testing grounds, it seems, for a lot of these things. They're really pushing the limits, you know. $250,000, or so it seems. $250,000 of Pacific Palisades fire aid money was given to George Clooney's NGO. There's a lot of people profiting from this, except for the people that really needed it. It's weird.
One of the organizations that received grant money from Fire Aid to the sum of $250,000 was the Clooney Foundation for Justice. This is the nonprofit that George and Amal Clooney founded in 2016, and this is what they do. We wage justice by providing free legal aid in defense of free speech and women's rights in more than 40 countries. We monitor and report on unfair trials, challenge unjust laws in courts, establish legal aid clinics for the most vulnerable, and support the next generation of gender justice champions. Now, I stumbled upon this because I was looking into their foundation over something completely different and saw that one of their major supporters happens to be the Annenberg Foundation, among others. Now, I will add that the Los Angeles Times did report that they received fire aid money, so this isn't like a big secret, but it says this, yes, the George Clooney Foundation for Justice received $250,000 grant from Fire Aid. This grant was used primarily for disaster case management to survivors, helping them navigate the FEMA bureaucracy, according to the LA Times. Did anyone receive legal aid from them? Is this the best use of the money to go? And like like I've said earlier, it's all connected. Like they're all connected. They all know each other. It's like they've just picked nonprofits that are frenzies with each other. And they're like, here, you get money, and you get money. And just say that you're helping in this way or the other way. Is this the best use of $250,000 worth of grant money?
I know, right? Again, it's the people are the ones that keep getting screwed, unfortunately. Billy Gates declares the end of the smartphone era and unveils its surprising replacement. I shared this, I think, last week. But they are moving away from that because, again, this is more evidence of what's coming. You know, that final system, that final piece of the puzzle, you know, the mark, as it were. Here it says, smartphones have been an indispensable part of our lives for over a decade, from checking emails, etc., 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 etc. But Billy Gates believes this era is nearing its end. According to Medium, Gates points to electronic tattoos. So you know where that's going. Developed by Chaotic Moon and later acquired by Accenture as the next big leap in personal technology. Instead of holding a phone in our hands, these tattoos could allow us to communicate, access the internet, and even monitor our health, all without a screen in sight. So it's already being sold off to the people, right? You guys are going to love this, man. It's great. Look at everything it's going to do for you. It's going to make life easier. United UK government expands police facial recognition rollout with 10 new LFR vans deployed to 7 new regions. It says the Home Office is announcing the rollout of 10 new live facial recognition vans to 7 forces across the country. The technology has also been used to maintain safety at big public events. Right. We'll see. We'll see. It's like they're spreading the police force. They're spreading the tyranny, like the crazy things they're doing. All right, let's check this out from Mark Zuckerberg.
Superintelligence Labs, in our vision to build personal superintelligence for everyone. AI keeps accelerating, and over the past few months, we've begun to see glimpses of AI systems improving themselves. So developing superintelligence is now in sight. But there's this big open question about what we should direct superintelligence towards. A lot has been written about the scientific and economic advances that AI can bring, and I'm really optimistic about this. What I think an even more meaningful impact in our lives is going to come from everyone having a personal superintelligence that helps you achieve your goals, create what you want to see in the world, be a better friend, and grow to become the person that you aspire to be. I think that personal devices like glasses that can see what we see, hear what we hear, and interact with us throughout the day are going to become our main computing devices. I believe deeply in building personal superintelligence for everyone. And at Meta, we have the resources to build a massive infrastructure required and the ability to deliver new technology to billions of people. I'm excited to build this future, and we've got a lot more to come soon.
Oh, great.
I don't know if we have time. Would you allow your child to be alone with that guy? Your child to be alone with that guy. He is a creep. He does creepy things, and his company is, I'm telling you, they need a law enforcement investigation of this deal, and we're going to work like hell behind the scenes to do it. So Meta, suck on this.
Hey-o. All right, so we're going to move on. But yeah, I mean, you know, they're still investing in Meta. I know it's going to be a player, right, somehow in this big system. Keep people plugged in. Pure red heifer was sacrificed. Yeah, so there's been this rumor going around I found this week. A lot of people are saying that, you know, there's supposed to be this prophetic red heifer sacrifice that happens in Israel. And we've, you know, seen some stories where they were getting ready for it. They found what they needed. And anyway, now there's this. Like I said, a lot of people are saying that it actually already happened. So let's check this out.
And the red heifer people, they fooled everybody. And they successfully performed the ritual about a month ago. Because they said, we're just going to do a practice one with one of the 5 disqualified cows. Ended up going out, doing a real cow, maybe offering, and I actually, it was a real offering. They did it all by the laws, and I have with me some of the ashes. Right.
You seriously can't make this up. So you're going to tell me that everything is just a coincidence in timing? How everything is just converging all at once? So as you just heard with the original clip, apparently the red heifer has been sacrificed. They have the ashes, and apparently there's miracles being performed by these ashes. Again, that's what people are saying. So that goes down. All right. We also have the two-state solution on the table right now for the 80th UN Assembly, which is going to be having hearings on the Feast of Trumpets. And then with that, we have this news coming out right here where, look at this. Apparently, Mr. Golden Dawn may visit Israel next month. That is September, by the way, the month with the fall feast, with the Feast of Trumpets, with the UN Assembly meeting happening, the 80th one happening in New York. As we can see right here, though, his appearance in Israel is depending on developments in Gaza Truth Talks. And while that's all taking place, we continue to see the alien propaganda going full steam ahead, where now they are reporting the Three-Eye Atlas is not going to show up in December or November, but now they're talking about September. Like, where do they even get that date from? Not to mention the convergence of events where you see all the social media platforms seeking for identification verification. Identification verification, say that 10 times fast. On top of that, with the Real ID, digital identification coming to a neighborhood near you. On top of that, the new digital financial system that Mr. Golden Dawn is pushing and how we need to upgrade the system. On top of that, we see the push for more artificial intelligence and the AI takeover, where they are saying that artificial superintelligence will be here in the next couple of years. On top of that, we have the militarization of police forces and how they are deploying National Guardsmen to cities like Washington, D.C., and how they are floating the idea of them going to other cities like Chicago and New York. So yeah, just a convergence of all these events, all taking place in the month of September. Wake me up when September ends. But again, this could all just be a big nothing burger. All I can do is see the puzzle pieces and try to put them together, you know? See the dots and...
What? Huh? Chubbs is over there barking. What's up? Yeah? You got a lot on your mind today, don't you? Yeah, you do. All right, I'm going to keep going, okay? All right, thanks.
Try to connect the dots, and everything is just converging almost too perfectly, you know, like too perfectly. And for those who think that they are faking the end times, like how much credit do you give human beings, right? This is a spiritual thing going on. This is spiritual principalities at work right now. But God is sovereign. He is allowing everything to take place for his ultimate will to be done. Bible prophecy is unfolding right in front of our eyes. So now with that being said, I just want to encourage you guys out there. There's a lot of different voices, all right? Everybody has their own opinion here on social media, pre-trib, post-trib, this, that, whatever opinion, right? But at the end of the day, I cannot encourage you enough to focus upon the Lord in your own personal life.
What? All right, good message from Shepherd for the King page over on X, the new Twitter. You guys may have seen this. I think I've got it over on Mavi UFO Alarm, posted this one too. But they said down here, they added context. They said it was uploaded by a specific TikTok account. And one of the reels on their Instagram has a disclaimer at the bottom of the screen saying for entertainment and educational purposes only. So maybe keep that in mind. But it is interesting because I have collected in a little folder over the last year or so lots of videos of people, humanoid type figures walking in the clouds, but a lot of times they look more like spirits. You know, this looks like something in the physical. So just keeping all that in mind, is this.
What is going on?
You see that?
I mean, something in the physical aura, I mean, that's what it looks like.
I don't know.
There's some kind of program. Be cool to see it jump off the cloud, float down. Excuse me. There you go. So that's one that's making the rounds, but it's probably a fake, most likely, because there are some real good captures out there of things walking in the clouds. Look at this. Check these robots out. I've never seen this, but now that I have, it makes sense that somebody would invent something like this. Look at that. Get underneath you. Move you out of the way. It's a couple little robot buddies. They make it look easy, don't they? So there you go. Instead of some dumb human having to drive it, right? AG Pambondi says, yesterday I sent out 33 letters to mayors. Let's check some of this message out here. 33.
Okay, let's focus and dial in. So DC, Sanctuary City, LA, Sanctuary City, San Francisco, Sanctuary City, New York City, Sanctuary City, California, Sanctuary State. What does this mean in reality for all of these locations, municipalities, states moving forward?
They must comply. Yesterday, I sent out 33 letters to mayors around this country. I think 3 or 4 of them were in California alone, not surprising. I sent out letters to all of these mayors and to the governors saying, you must comply. We want to know what you're doing to comply with our federal government. So we're going to see, I'll let you know how they respond. They have 5 days to respond to me.
Okay, let me move on, and I want to ask you.
All right, there you go. 33. I've seen a lot of that lately. A lot of that in some of these news stories, right? Last few weeks, I've noticed that. Pops up. Really interesting times when it pops up. This is pretty wild. Looks like this lady, unfortunately, may be taken over by a spirit. What do you think? Your teeth are sharp. Whoa. Chill out, Mom. There you go. Gross. Mom, what's for dinner? Oh, okay, never mind. I'll give you some space. 2 clips from Manchester in August. The first, an Englishman getting in trouble with the coppers for flying an English flag. The second, also from Manchester this evening, says containing hundreds of Pakistani flags. So here's this.
Here we go, we've got the police here telling this guy flying the flag of England in England. Right, that's not, you're not allowed to do that. Yet we've got the pro-Hamas flag being flown, no problems at all. You want 2-tier? This is 2-tier.
Excuse me. And then there's that. Okay, we get it. It's unfortunate.
A sudden burst of young thieves as 2 dozen take over the Chevron station in Lincoln Heights.
The video is haunting. You see dozens breaking in, stealing, and terrorizing, and yet no arrests have been made.
0 arrests have been made, and you want to know why that is? Police in these sanctuary cities are tapped out. And after years of defunding the police, local cops cannot both protect businesses and run around town every time activists spar with federal agents. And as total lawlessness tied to California's refusal to get illegal fugitives off its streets spirals out of control, hundreds of family-run businesses now have very tough choices to make.
Elena Kasanska owns the Pizza Moon store. She spent hours cleaning up after vandals broke her glass door and others streamed in. Some jumped the counter looking for something of value. They also round down a corridor to get to the kitchen. Lots of hoodies, hats, and masks as they go right by the security cameras.
Battery and boxes of rims. 3 suspects were arrested, but far too many are on the loose.
So for months, looters have been taking over parts of Los Angeles and nothing's been done to stop them. But what nobody's talking about is the police that would deal with situations like this. Well, they've been cut down for years to the point where they've barely had the resources to maintain whatever semblance of order these places had before a few months ago. And now things are even worse because over the last few months, the progressive outrage machine has infested the minds of sanctuary city residents, causing them to believe that when ICE arrests someone, they need to call the police and waste their time.
All right, I'll move on from there. Just want to play a little bit of that. Some Cash Jordan YouTube channel. If you'd like to see the rest, please do.
Typically, right where Satan wants them to be, involved.
This is a really good one from Good Fight Ministries, Why Celebrities Are Obsessed with the Paranormal. And we'll just kind of jump in here. And this is reporting on the Matt Rife situation first.
And the fact that for a comedian, he's a good-looking guy, and that's not always common in the comedic fields, especially stand-up comedians. They're not known for their dashing good looks these days, or any other days, really. But Matt Rife has always seemed to be a viral commodity since he's hit the ground running. Now, with all of that, I had seen this video come up on my feed, and considering we did a video recently regarding demonic possession that you guys can check out, and we'll put a link in the description, I thought, wow, I would love to touch base on this because this is some really important stuff, especially when so many very popular artists, viral comedians, and so forth are getting involved in this paranormal stuff.
Hey guys, super random but incredible announcement. I have just bought the Ed and Lorraine Warren's Home and Occult Museum with my very good friend Elton Castay. If you guys have ever seen any of the Conjuring films, the Annabelle films, or even Amityville Horror, this is the home that inspired all of those stories. This might be the most important and prominent piece of paranormal history in the world. Ed and Lorraine Warren are who took demonology and ghost hunting and paranormal investigation and made it mainstream. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't know what any of this means whatsoever, but if you follow ghost stuff, this is about as big as it gets. So what does this all mean? It means that Elton Castay and myself are the owners of the physical Ed and Lorraine Warren's Home and Occult Museum. We are the legal guardians and caretakers of all 750 haunted artifacts and items in the Warren Museum, including the Annabelle doll. I must go on record and say we do not legally own the items, but we are the legal guardians and caretakers of the items for at least the next 5 years. And what this means for you guys is you are going to soon be able to book a night or a weekend and stay at the Warren's house and investigate the house and the history of the house, as well as the museum and all the artifacts inside of it. This is the most random hobby ever, but it's so cool, man. I should probably collect stamps or something. Might be a little safer. But yeah, we own the house, and we are very excited for you guys to see it.
Now, why, you might ask, would somebody who, I guess, is making a lot of money now with his comedy routine and so forth want to get dabbling into some of this occult museum material? Well, this just seems to be another indication of so many in that celebrity field wanting to have a touch of the afterlife without knowing the one who holds the keys. And I noticed this, and it's something even as the ministry, we've talked about it quite a bit about so many of those in Hollywood kind of go after these ideas, whether it's astrology or psychic mediums or witchcraft. It seems to be very popularized. Ghost stories and hauntings and going to haunted mansions and so forth. It seems to be very popular. And one of the first ones that I realized, oh, that one is kind of fascinating, was from my own BC life before knowing Christ. Slipknot was one of my favorite bands of all time. And I knew Corey Taylor as more of an atheist. And when he started writing books like his book regarding the paranormal and the afterlife, that's where I go, oh, that's kind of funny. But I want you to listen to how he ends this, because it reminded me of something very biblical. When you hear him describe kind of what made him go this route of trying to find ghosts and goblins and so forth.
How I made peace with the paranormal and stigmatized zealots and cynics in the process. So how exactly does one make peace with the paranormal?
You essentially try to set out to, get some answers that make sense to you. I've been experiencing the paranormal for a very long time, and obviously I'm quite on record as being a pretty devout atheist, if you can excuse that term. But at the same time, I've just kind of had this weird dichotomy all through my life where, I don't believe in religion or that kind of the mythological side of this whole thing. And yet I've had these experiences, and trying to figure it out has been fairly infuriating, and none of the answers that were available were satisfactory to me. So this was me kind of trying to find a unique perspective on it.
Now you can see other videos of Corey Taylor, the lead singer of the band Slipknot, kind of going, ghost hunting and so forth, without actually
Here's some more.
Jesus Christ.
Is it true that you have a new passion in life? Are you obsessed with ghosts? I hear you are.
It's not really a new passion.
Okay, we're just finding out.
You're just kind of like finding out.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I've accepted the fact that like I see things and I hear things.
Wait, do you really? You've had like experiences?
Yeah, a lot of them over the years. I recently was like, no, this is like a gift and like something that I have the ability to do. So I'm going to lean into it. And I recently did my first like real paranormal investigation, like with equipment and everything.
What equipment? Like a flex capacitor? Like what are we talking about here? Like what kind of equipment?
There's a lot. There's so much on the market. Genuinely. What? But like my favorite thing is called a spirit box.
Okay.
And it basically scans radio frequencies really quickly. You want to do it in like more of a rural place so it doesn't pick up stations. And like if you put on AM, it just sounds like static. But something about the electricity that it creates allows spirits to speak through it.
Hudgens is not the only star doing this. Lady Gaga herself paid $50,000. $50,000 for a ghost busting machine. And ultimately, what Lady Gaga had happen was get visited by a dark spirit, a serpent that basically she knew was evil. And she even called the guru Deepak Chopra to say, hey, I need some help. This darkness is coming over me, this evil. And he ultimately told her to embrace it.
I had this dream quite recently that was so terrifying, so morbid and terrifying. And I called Deepak Chopra, who I work with, and I was telling him my dream, terrified, that the devil, and the dream was so terrifying, I thought somehow a devil force was trying to take hold of me, a darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I see devil and darkness as the same thing. And he laughed and told me that I was very creative. And that
That's what it represents.
Learn to embrace my insanity.
Were you on shrooms when you believed ghosts were real?
Ghosts are real.
Or were you on shrooms when you thought that?
Probably once.
What do you believe in ghosts?
They're real.
Where are they? Are you? Well, what?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
what's good with the ghost hunter?
I heard you're a ghost
That's
hunter.
dope.
Amateur.
Amateur.
Amateur paranormal investigator.
You got like equipment.
Yeah, I love it.
What kind of like equipment?
Like
do
you
you
got like the REM meter, like maybe not REM, RE something meter. We got the detectors. They measure electromagnetic
You're a
spikes.
detector.
We got like the old voice recorder because apparently it works better like on like a old digital recorder, better off than your phone. These people try to make me do like dowsing rods and where they like cross and.
Demi Lovato, whose gender fluidity has been the talk of many circles, has also shown herself chasing ghosts or aliens and even singing to them in hopes of getting communication with them.
Gross.
You like to sing, Carmen?
Oh. You should sing something for her, Demi.
No.
Why not? Maybe if you sing a song as an offering, we could come back in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Go
Here we go.
on and try to tear me down. I will be rising from the ground like a skyscraper.
There we go. Standing ovation.
I believe in ghosts, so I have a ghost
You're a
app.
ghost.
I have my phone. I haven't used it here yet because I thought I could do it with you. Here's my phone.
Oh no, it's working.
Is there a spirit? Oh,
I just heard something.
children.
Children?
Yes, children. That's what it said.
Why would the
Keep
ghost say
going.
children?
Well, do people have children here? I don't have children, so they're not mad at me. They're mad at y'all. That looks kind of creepy. Should we go see it? My God. What's down there? By that. Did you go down there, Tracy? No. Oh, it's just the bathroom there. That's giving me weird vibes. Oh, I have a ghost app. Here, give me my phone.
Captivated audiences, but have profoundly altered the lives of many who believe they've experienced something supernatural.
All right, I'll go ahead and move on. Just want to share some of those clips. So, Good Fight Ministries, if you want to go check out the full video, they have a lot of really cool
Have you ever
content.
seen that video? No. Pull that video up because it's one of my favorites.
She rents a one-bedroom apartment. She and her daughter sleep together in the same room. And one-bedroom apartment is going to be $1,600. She spends $100 on utilities. She's like me. She drives a 2008 minivan, $400 for car expenses and gas, net $325. Low-cost food budget, that is ramen noodles. A low food budget is $400. That leaves her $77 in the red. She has a Cricket cell phone, the cheapest cell phone she can get for $40. She's in the red $117 a month. She has after-school childcare because the bank is open during normal business hours. That's $450 a month. That takes her down to negative $567 per month. How should she manage this budget shortfall while she's working full-time at your bank?
I don't know that all your numbers are accurate.
She's short $567. What would you suggest she do? See if you can find a way for her to live on less than the minimum that I've described.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Mr. Diamond, you know how to spend $31 million a year in salary, and you can't figure out how to make up a $567 a month.
Have you ever seen that video?
Dang, that's great stuff, man. She's a warrior. Lady's a warrior, I say.
The devil comes to us at our highest moment. You ever see Mike Tyson talking to Francis Ngannou? Mike Tyson said,
"Oh, your knuckles is spectacular." Know what that means? All this good stuff happening to you. Know what that means? That you're favored by God. You know that, right? Yeah.
and Francis went, wow. And he goes, here's the bad news.
When you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil.
You're one of the devil's favorites, too. And you got to leave with the guy you came with.
You stay with who brought you here. You go home with the guy that brought you to the dead.
Because he's looking to take you home, too.
All right, there we go. A little bit of wisdom from Mike Tyson. You ever see that animation they did? I think it's called the Mike Tyson Mysteries. Years ago. I don't think it's still happening now, but it was actually pretty crazy. Check this out right here. Her.
This video with me.
Chosen ones never blend in. Your spirit knows you were never ordinary. While others were being formed, you were being forged. While they got blessings, you got battles. While they got platforms, you were in despair. But here's the secret hell doesn't want you to know. Your despair was never punishment. It was preparation. Because chosen ones aren't put on display. They're put through the fire. Because those who survive the furnace can carry the flame. There is a reason the enemy fucked with your mind. Why betrayal hits you harder than most. Why you're tired yet unbroken. Crushed but never destroyed. For you were chosen. Not by man, not by even religion, bloodline, or birthright. But by a God who whispered your name before you were born. There is something embedded in you that hell can't delete. A divine code that screams untouchable. Now it's your turn.
Watch. That's so cool, isn't it, man? It's Super inspirational. Well done, sir. Well done.
This is wild. Watch. If I can teach you how to memorize the 10 Commandments really fast, I will give you.
Man, this is crazy. Check it out. Some of you, we're going to learn the 10 Commandments fast. Watch how he does this.
$50. All right. The first is see the finger right here. You shall have no other gods. There's one God. Commandment 2 says, don't bow down to any other God. Commandment 3, this is not to take the name of the Lord in vain. So you're putting this over your mouth. Number 4, so this kind of looks like a hand, 4. So 4 is protect the Sabbath. 5, we're going to make it a salute. Yes, sir. Honor your father and mother. The 6th commandment, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. The 7th is don't commit adultery. Yep. There are 2 people in a marriage, not 5. Hey, we're going to do it like this, right? Yep. Because in some countries, they cut off your fingers if you steal. So we got our thumbs cut off. Right. So don't steal. Number 9, 4 is not 5. Don't lie. Don't lie. And number 10, we got our fingers here. We're wanting what other people have. Yep. This is don't covet. Got it. All right. So we're going to go through all 10 and then you get $50. Number 1, no other gods above me. 2, don't bow down to false idols. Number 3, don't take the Lord's name in vain. 4, honor the Sabbath. 5, honor your father and mother. 6, don't kill. That's it. 7, do not commit adultery. 8, do not steal. 9 is don't lie. And 10 is do not covet. You get $50.
That's cool, isn't it? That's a great way to teach somebody. Like super quick. Love it. This is on Cliff Buell, Buell, YouTube's channel. It's
Let's just walk around this way, just for fun.
Okay.
There you go.
So they rebuilt this lickety split for the kids.
Yeah, check it out. This is Adam Carolla back at the Palisades area, Malibu area, all that stuff, of course, as you know, that still hadn't been really worked on until they found this. So apparently the government had time to build this atrocity out here, and just look what they've done. It's just really crazy. You got to see it to believe
it. So they rebuilt this lickety split for the kids, and they put a giant fire truck there.
Well, and multiple ones, and an ambulance. It has definitely caused a lot of consternation in the community. I think the city now has realized that, and they're trying to figure out how to change it out.
Yeah, I think they call it tone deaf. Is what. But also, the thing I'm always interested in life about is it's not one guy who went rogue and said, I'm going to put a fire truck here. Right. It had to go through a committee. It had to pass through multiple levels. People had to stamp it. Like, I felt that way when UPS came up with the slogan, what can Brown do for you? Somebody should have raised their hand and went, I don't think we should be saying this. Like, but how many people had to sign off before they launched the campaign?
Yeah. A lot of people say, hey, this is a good idea.
Well, if they didn't endorse it, they certainly had to at least look the other way while the fire truck motif was okayed through their office. So, yeah, that is a very LA thing. Sad, but at least it's kind of funny.
Wow, right? Just clueless, the
I'm in Turkey right now to visit some of the biblical and historical sites, and I went to the Blue Mosque today. Aside from its obvious flat earth structure, you would not believe what they are worshiping in there, and I don't think that anybody even realizes what it is. So this looks like a painting. It's actually like a structure carved into the wall, and right in front of it, there's a prayer mat. So everybody's there on, like, literally on their faces. I didn't want to go all the way up to it, like bowing down to this. Some of you guys are already going to know exactly what that is. But if you don't, that is definitely the Tower of Babel. Sorry, guys, I really didn't want to go like on the prayer carpet, so the chandelier thing is in the way, but come on, nobody can gaslight me into thinking that that is not what that is. I mean, it's literally sectioned off. You could see it, and there's like a prayer rug in front of it, and this is the only thing that's there. There's people like face on the ground worshiping this. What else could this possibly be? I also had no idea that Turkey is like majority. And you guys, it's like the Book of Daniel, okay? There's speakers everywhere, and there's like a microphone on top of one of the big church buildings, and they start singing like their call to prayer or whatever, and it plays everywhere, like everywhere. And people that follow that religion stop to observe it, and it's like 5 to 10 times a day. And it is so reminiscent of the Book of Daniel and Babylon. It's crazy. And then the fact that they're literally worshiping what very clearly looks to be the Tower of Babel. I don't know why. I really thought that Turkey was going to be Christian. I think it's because I'm just like viewing it too much through the lens of the Bible. But yeah, all of the historically Christian stuff has been turned to this type of thing.
Wow, that's interesting. That'd be such a all that
I'm always the one to say the thing that everybody's afraid to say.
You know, those ancient places would be amazing to go to where there's biblical history, you know. Says, I'm always the one to say the thing everyone's afraid to say. She says, this is K Podge. Let's see what this is. It's from August 8th.
So here's another one. Why is it that all Satan Little Season people and all sacred namers literally evangelize their theories? You will never like hear them in real life or see them in comment sections evangelizing Jesus Christ. It's literally always just correcting you about what they believe is the correct version of the name, which it's Jesus, because God is sovereign, guys. Come on. Like he has control over the word. Or they're trying to tell you that Jesus came back in 70 AD with basically no proof, no biblical evidence. Like, everybody is entitled to their own beliefs, okay? I don't agree with those things, but like evangelize Jesus. You can almost tell that they're deceptive solely based on the fact that they are only concerned about spreading those things. Like it's the same people on every single post. And being on the side of the person that makes the content, whenever I post something that's like loving or like highlights God's goodness, that is when these people pop up the most. So I'm going to be honest, I already thought that the doctrines were from demons, but the fact that they pop up most often when I'm glorifying God, yeah, that's a huge deceptive red flag. Please believe what the Bible says. Like, if you say you believe in God and you believe that he can handle your eternal soul, try to believe that he can also preserve the book that he wrote and the most important name in all of existence, and that Satan isn't more sovereign than God is. Like, he wouldn't get 1,000 years like how God does. I'm always the one to say the thing that everybody's.
All right, there we go. Like I said, she's kind of a new personality online also, I've found. So I've been watching some of her videos.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Says something creepy keeps happening every few days. Can you hear that? Oh, yeah. So there's this whole thing going on with, let me just go there. I think this is, maybe it's the next one. But there have been all these stories coming out of Virginia and some other states here in America. People have been talking about these mysterious ice cream trucks showing up. But this right here is from 2021, so this is a little older. They just reposted it 2 days ago. I thought there was something more recent. Let me see. Here's one, I guess. Claimed to be. Says Virginia discovers late night ice cream truck following disappearance of 50 little ones. Just posted a day ago. And all right, let's check it out. Full screen. Here we go.
More and more parents are showing videos of the ice cream man showing up in late hours of the night trying to sell ice cream to their kid. And this is a totally different ice cream truck, as you can see. This person posted this at 9:38 p.m. This truck is white. The other one was a dark blue, and there's no reason to be selling ice cream at this hour. Now, if you don't already know, there's a lot of reports in Virginia of over 50 kids missing, and the parents keep on posting videos of this ice cream truck and a few others in the area driving around to late hours. I think it's about time for the ice cream truck guys to start making videos showing that there's no reason for us to think that they're up to anything else but selling ice cream, because people want to know what the heck is going on.
Ice cream man is parked outside my house at 9 o'clock at night. Like, there's no kids out there. Nobody's getting ice cream. He's just sitting there playing his loud ass music, and he's been there for like 15 minutes.
And parents want answers because there's literally no reason for children to be going up strange men in vehicles, buying ice cream from them in the middle of the night.
Truth. There you go. So yeah, there's a whole, let me see if I can find some more on that. Let's do this and see what the ice cream truck. See what happens here. So yeah, people are posting a lot of these here. What's with these ice cream trucks at night? Something's off. So there's one at night, clearly.
Yep, your children are being surveilled 20.
It's kind of weird. It is kind of weird. You got to admit. Yeah, somebody in chat said like nothing's sacred, and that's probably part of it. Even with all the stuff happening with planes, and
if you stop,
because it stacks on top of each other. But I think it's maybe getting the world ready to just stay where they're at. Learn to live for long periods of time in small locations, like little cities, perhaps. I think we saw this young man earlier. We did.
Now, the last time I did a video about the moving trees, people act like I was crazy.
It's a good one. So here's a really fun rabbit hole, and it's one that I think there's I don't know if I recognize this one. So I know there's like maybe one or two new to me type videos of this. But there for a while, a lot of these were being recorded. People seeing these moving trees on their own, and some really incredible videos, definitely. And it's not all AI or anything like that. Like, people were really capturing some crazy things there. And it's pretty interesting. They also had the walking trees in Lord of the Rings. If you guys remember that, one of those movies. All right.
Saying was this is some Lord of the Rings type stuff going on out here in these streets. But everybody don't make it seem like I'm crazy. No, you crazy. You looking at a tree moving right there. That ain't AI, a tree moving, but you're going to tell me I'm crazy. I'm just saying this is Lord of the Rings out here in these streets. Now, the last time I did a video about the moving trees, people act like I was crazy.
All right, move on. Like I said, these were years ago. Most of them. Oops, the popular ones, the ones that really got a lot of looks at them. I threw this up here. Conspiracy theorist Max Spears vomited black fluid before he died. Inquest hears. Somebody asked me in the live show about this. And this was, if I can get down there, let's close this. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Right there it is. It says Mr. Spears became ill with a high temperature and was weak, said the coroner's investigator's office, Caroline O'Donnell. And then she said the following day, Mr. Spears vomited 2 liters of black fluid. So that's where I was talking about black goo. And it's interesting. There's this new movie out called Weapons. I'll probably fit this into the new video. But there's a whole scene on there where there's multiple things taking place, things that we track a lot around this channel that are happening at once. And I'll explain later in the video. But one of those things is a person, spews black goo, like lots of it, and he's sick. And ends up, I don't want to say too much more. It's a really crazy movie. Good one, though, I thought. It's a really good one. If you like scary movies and don't mind a little black goo spew, then you could be okay. Let's see. So Miss O'Donnell added that the friend he was staying with called a doctor who tried to revive him, but later pronounced him passed. And, it looks like his family turned to his mother. Vanessa Bates turned to David Icke for help. 2 days before Max went away, he says, "Your boy's in trouble." He wrote this to his mom, I guess. "If anything happens to me, investigate." So it's a couple days before, and then, he vomits up this black fluid, which they never explain. If it was just bile or something like that, so it just sounds like a black goo to me. Rest in peace.
I can't imagine being a student nowadays.
Man, look at this. I'll let this play a couple times so you see you understand what you're looking at here. This is crazy. And it's really sad for humanity. It is. This is really sad for the younger generation, for sure.
I can't imagine being a student nowadays. All the stuff that they had when we didn't have any of it. Like this. They got pens with ChatGPT that gives them the answer. I can't imagine being a student nowadays. All the stuff that they had when we didn't have any of it. Like this. They got pens with ChatGPT that gives them the answer.
And you see it just like, they're not going to learn anything at all. Just to be uneducated completely. And that's, of course, I think ultimately what the system wants. The more uneducated, the better, the easier to control, right? Here's Susan Holt, New Brunswick Premier, just admitted that the Canadian ban on people walking in the woods has nothing to do with wildfires, but I'll let her explain
If
this
you're out
nonsense.
there walking in the woods and you break your leg, we're not going to come and get you because we have emergency responders that are out focused on a fire that is threatening the lives of New Brunswickers. And if you take your boat out fishing in a pond in Crown Land and you capsize, we're not going to be able to come and help you out because our first responders are focused on an immediate and serious threat to our province. And so it's the possibility of diverting emergency resources away from where they are really needed.
There you go. That's not very cool, but you know how it is. Unfortunately, Canada's got issues with their gov. Firefighter Saskatchewan man who set 30 fires in a month sentenced. This is July 24th, 2025. So again, there's that component working in a lot of these situations too. And then the mainstream media can blame it all on CC 33, climate change. Tuesday, 8:30 a.m., over 8 months after the fire, zero construction. It's crazy. Used to be beautiful homes, mostly some restaurants on this side. And there you go. It's quite a waste, I'd say. Let's jump over here and check out a few of these Mavi UFO alarm videos for the week. And he's got this one right here. Again, I'm not sure how real this is, but it's pretty cool to look at, this thing. Isn't it? There you go. It's really cool, though. Reminds me of, there was an old Disney movie called Rocket Man. Do you guys remember that? And that looks like the suit he had to me. Big time. Like the helmet, everything. Rocket Man from Disney years ago. Pretty good movie, I thought. All right, so I think that was it on this one. Yeah. On the next. Thanks, Mavi. Not sure if it's real. That's all right. And let's see what I have here lined up. Sorry, I'm having some issues with my mouse here. There we go. Yeah, I thought this is pretty cool. Check this one out. Some little, I see that. I always see things like that as just some of the interdimensionals just kind of floating around, hanging out. Don't forget this guy or girl. There you go. Man, that's a good capture, isn't it? Is that another one floating above it? I guess so. Little fireballs. Good capture, though. Big time. And get ready. Here comes the little red one, fast one. I think. Here it is. All right, cool. I want to share some of that. Check out Mavi's channel, UFO Alarm, to see more. I always just try to pick some of the, what I think are some of the real good ones. Of course, we have this from Canada, of all places, July 11th, a flying humanoid situation, it would seem. Look at that. It's pretty low, too. Kind of a humanoid shape. It's flying, so. Flying humanoid. Kind of. It's hard to say what it is, right? Weird shape. Just floating. Pretty low, too. Low to those trees. Just over the edge of those trees. It's crazy. All right. I think that was it over here. There's something going on here. Here it is. All right, I'll go ahead and move on. They said you can come check out their channel, and this will be the last one from Mavi UFO Alarm. Check this one out. This first one's crazy. From Las Vegas, August 9th, 2025. UFO sphere alert. Look how low this thing is. Is it just a balloon? Or is it an actual, orb? Good, it's all red. It's kind of floating in the same area. Man, that's crazy. You could just step out your car and take a picture of it. Get a little zoom on your camera phone and you get a good shot of that. Look how low that is. Looks like it's coming down too. A little bit. Just over that truck. This guy's walking, man. Just take a look up. So I don't know. It didn't move around a lot, right? It kind of stayed in the same area. So I'm not sure what to think about that. If it's something or not. You know what I mean? All right. I think that's about it on this. Let me see. Yeah. All right. Go move on. There we go. Good stuff from Mavi. Got some headlines now. You do this. Just going to go through some of these headlines of the week from End Time News or End Time Headlines. Sorry, I'm just trying to get something situated here. All right, there we go. Algae bloom turns biblical sea blood red, sparking many to fear it's an omen. Look at that. And there have been a few of these situations happening out there. Large bodies of water turning blood red lately. I know we've seen some examples here on the show. And this is the biblical Sea of Galilee has mysteriously turned a vivid blood red, leaving locals rattled and warning of a bad omen. Stunned visitors watched crimson waves roll onto the shore, with some comparing the eerie transformation to the 10 plagues that the Lord inflicted on the Egyptians in the biblical narrative of Exodus. According to Scripture, the curse saw the Nile's waters struck by Moses' staff at God's command, turning them blood into blood, or turning the blood in a divine act of judgment. So turning it into blood, I think they meant to say. Thus says the Lord, but this you shall know that I am the Lord. Behold, with the staff that is in my hand, I will strike the water that is in the Nile, and it shall turn into blood. Oof. And of course, they're saying it's just analogy. I always say stuff like that, but there you go. All right. There you have it. Says thousands evacuated in Los Angeles and Ventura counties as canyon fire explodes to nearly 5,000 acres. Wow. So floods and fires, right? Floods and fires. Strong magnitude 6.1 quake strikes Turkey, of all places. We saw that girl earlier reporting from Turkey. Rising food costs are threatening the very existence of many restaurants. Says it's chili in Tulsa, Oklahoma has been around for, Ike's Chili, sorry. It's the name of the restaurant. Ike's Chili in Tulsa, Oklahoma has been around for 117 years, surviving a myriad of challenges from the Great Depression to the pandemic and once-in-a-generation burst of inflation. But 2025 already holds an even more complicated challenge. Says the cost of everything's just going up, and we've got to figure out how to manage it right. Oh boy, you know what that means. All right, so I'll just go ahead and scroll down. But there you go, mainly a headline. Too bad, sorry to hear. Over 900 flights delayed and 14 million remain under flood alerts as torrential rain batters Midwest. Trump proposes deploying National Guard to New York, Chicago, and LA after the DC crackdown. So this could be interesting. This really could be the spread of that, you know. Did the true red heifer sacrifice already take place? We saw some of that earlier. 34-year-old Illinois substitute teacher did bad stuff with 11-year-old students while having, quotes, play dates. More of that Jezebel spirit, man. It's out there for reals, right? Justin Bieber says he doesn't deserve God's forgiveness, and Cryptic Post is concerned for Star Grows. So there's been a lot there with Justin. Odd situations. Teen says she was forced to prove her gender in Buffalo Wild Wings restroom, rut row. It's not good. They got the falling stars, and the stars are pentagrams, right? And I bet if you mirrored, you know, like the image at the top, you would get, look, they have like demon eyes. So it'd have the demon looking gray alien almost type eyes with the horns. You know, it'd be like a whole thing there. That's interesting, I think. Or maybe I'm just looking too deep. I don't know. That's End Time Headlines. Meta AI takes first step to superintelligence, and Zuckerberg will no longer release the most powerful systems to the public. So I guess saving the best for them. Living on their own supply. Let me see what this was. Oh yeah, X-Witch. Let's check this out. If you will.
This X-Witch talks about how Hollywood uses witchcraft in their films.
You know, they recreated that movie, The Craft, in 2020. Really? They recreated the movie and they invited real witches on the set, and they had the witches before they would do a scene to cast spells and to invite the actresses to come into this circle with them while they were releasing spell words over the viewers and over the scene. And they broadcast it and wrote articles like, isn't this amazing? We're getting real and raw with these real witches.
What?
And people are playing it in their home, and it's entertainment. And you know, Charlene, I always say the first part of entertainment is enter. So be careful what's entering your home.
Good stuff, man. Excellent point. Hey, Sean Peters. Good to see you, man. And thank you. It's very cool of you. It says, KJ and family and amazing sister Tamara. Love you all. I too feel the stress and strain of life, but super thankful for our love we share in our Lord. Have the greatest week. P.S. One day I'll make it to the Friday call-ins. Yes, that'd be wonderful if you could. And thank you for the great message and the support, my friend. Very cool. All right. So we'll move on from this. Just keep on moving. That's nice. So just over 3 hours. We ain't doing bad at all. Doing good. An illegal immigrant entered a woman's home without her consent, and the castrated British police say that trespassing is not an arrestable offense. So
It's not an offense. They're letting him go. They're letting him go. Officer, how is that not an offense? How is it not an offense entering someone's house? That poor lady. Regardless, she didn't want him in the house. Is alarm fear and discretion? Is alarm fear and discretion? She got alarmed even in fear. You're letting him go. Let him go. He's allowed to do that. And I get fucking raped. And I'm fucking watching. He does it again. If he does it, you got to arrest him. He does it again. Regardless, he's done it once. He don't need to do it again. He doesn't need to do it again. You know you're going to cause a war on the streets. You know you're causing a war on the streets, right? I'm not going to dig nothing. I can walk in their ass and say that you're causing a war on the streets. How are you letting him go? What's your name? We're walking someone's name. I'm not saying nothing. And I'll get all their colour numbers. You have said that it isn't an offence entering a property. Can I have your name and number? You think it's not an offence entering a property? Regardless, if I entered your house with your wife and kids in there, are you going to be angry and want to get me arrested?
Be angry, but you have to prove intent for it to be burglary.
I had done the same thing when I was 16. I got arrested for attempted attempted burglary. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. All I done was walked in the house. I got done for attempted burglary. And I was in the middle of an argument. Mate, you're a fucking disgrace. An absolute disgrace. You're a disgrace to the UK government. To the UK people, you're a disgrace. All of you are a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. You're going to end up.
It's crazy, man. It's getting nutty out there all over, man. But definitely the UK is feeling the heat. The people are. They just keep turning the screws, doing this weird stuff, Inversion, of course, right? Supporting the bad and then punishing the good. Remember when the CIA, FBI got caught bragging to an undercover journalist about how they were setting up AJ with Shandy Shook?
Live in jail if you know what to do. How? Does Bureau practice entrapment a lot? Yeah.
Conducted asylum interviews at the southern border, and now works for the CIA managing multi-million-dollar contracts across government agencies and private sector vendors.
I work for I work like this without. I'm not supposed to tell people kind of job. If I say intelligence, what do you think? CIA? Yep. You work for the CIA? I do. That's incredible. Contracting officer. Amazing. Fancy. So I deal a lot with like different agencies. We're contracting with like Director of National Intelligence to do stuff. We do Navy, Army, any of them really. I just FBI. I used to work for the FBI, so they threw the FBI at me. They're like, "Here, you used to work there." Oh, I'm permanent. So yeah, good. Well, why do they call it contracting? Because I do the contracting for them. I do all the legal contracts. I fly out to vendors and evaluate them. I love the agency. Good for you. I like the Bureau too. The Bureau was a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of cool stuff with the Bureau. I was the guy in the back of the truck in the van.
O'Blennis spoke to an undercover sound investigations reporter about his work experience involving near entrapment and his employers' involvement with political commentator Alex Jones's leak.
So they can entrap some of these pro-lifers into doing things that they don't. Yeah. We call it a nudge. A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick look just to see what happens, right? How does that happen? You put a post out there, or you have someone fake profile, say something that triggers, that we know is going to trigger them, right? Like, we already know your history. If we're to that point, we already know everything about it. So we're like, oh, this will piss them off. Sometimes you light the fuse and just wait for it to follow, right?
Like a railing. Like a, so when a railing happens, that sometimes the Bureau behind it?
Yeah, sometimes. Nothing like putting on a fake social media thing to like really get people mad. Post fake news. Sometimes it's not fake. It's embellished a little bit.
Who would be like a big influencer that you're after? You like a, I don't know, like a, I don't even know these names. Like a Fox News person or like a Tucker Carlson or like.
Oh, I'm sure he's right. You always want the biggest and loudest. Like that, what was his name? The one that said
So yeah, just going against their own people, of course.
Let's do this stuff, and it's there. What can we go find?
And did you find anything?
I can't tell you if we did. But so it's just kind of like realize the opportunity that you have.
So with Alex Jones, you were watching him long before anything ended up happening.
Probably it wasn't my office, but I mean, we would have been well aware of what he was doing.
And the goal with him was what? Just to bankrupt him?
Oh, pretty much. And we let the families do it.
That's so dirty.
What?
We let the families do it.
Were they encouraged to do that by the Bureau? Like nudged?
We don't encourage people, but like we just say there's no federal statute being broken, but you do have the option for a civil case, and it's a pretty good case. Nice. In our opinion.
So, that makes so much sense. I have a.
All right, I'll move on from there, but wanted to share some of that. It's just there you go, man. Some of the ways they tried to railroad AJ. Not cool. Man says a blue light entity walking through the woods. Check this out. Blue entity always makes me think of The Watchmen. Did you guys ever see that movie, The Watchmen? They had the one guy that can't remember his name now. The blue man.
I'm hesitant to say it's an entity, right? Because I don't want to put something on it where I'm unsure of. I'm pretty pragmatic, pretty matter factual. So there is a few details that are kind of important. One, it did look like being arms, legs. I can distinctly remember. I also distinctly remember a black spot on the face that would be probably where the eye is. That was where there was no light. So it's kind of the opposite. If you see an animal in the woods, the eye has shine. This was inversed. So everything else was blue, electric, but where the eye would be, I distinctly remember lack of light. Now, is it an eye? I would say it's probably likely, but I still have no idea what I was looking at. And of course, I'm also cognizant of the fact that through the years, my mind is probably going to be filling in things, but I'm pretty detailed oriented. Like I'm pretty certain because I don't stop thinking about this. But those are two details that I think are important to mention. Yeah. Now, did I have the balls enough to go in there and chase it? No. I'm like 19 years old. I need to get out of here because, this is not a place where I want to start having cool encounters where I'm, on the way to getting high. Not my thing.
What time of day was this?
So let's see. Probably around 7:38, and I say that because I wasn't working, and it was still kind of a busy time of day. It wasn't like midnight or a quiet. But at the same token, it's pitch black, right? It's pitch black. So probably I'm going to guess around 7:30. Between 7 and 9 is safe to say.
I can't go into great detail about this, and I know the audience loves when I do this, but certain things I'm just not allowed to talk about for different reasons. I have experienced a light being in the woods, and it was during the day, and it had a shape to it that I wouldn't say was human, but it...
Had human features.
I'm trying to.
You're doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to be careful with what I say. What I'm saying, it will be revealed in detail at the right time.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll move on. It's weird. It kind of reminds me of the guy that allegedly had like VCR tape video of the Miami alien incident. Do you guys remember that? The Miami Mall alien incident? There was a guy that claimed they had like an old school VCR recorder, and those are cool. And I get that, like using something like that'd be kind of cool. Just has a different look to it, the tapes do. So, but I guess they had one of those out there recording, and they captured. They claimed really good footage of some of these creatures, So, but then as time's gone on, I've tried to find updates, but I shared something maybe a month ago where they were still asking where he was. They said he just kind of dropped off, so who knows? If it was real or fake, I'm not sure, but it was definitely interesting, which I like. This is from the Cambodian monks. It says, "Dear Mr. President, who had Cambodian monks gathering to demand Trump wins the Nobel Peace Prize after stopping the Cambodia-Thailand conflict on their 2025 bingo card." So who had this on their bingo card? It's pretty wild. So there you go. President Trump in the news. Rosie O'Donnell makes a cryptic message. Yeah, this is interesting here. Is there a blackout on the way? Does Rosie know something? Or is it all just conjecture?
Hey, you guys, I am tired about being right about this Mountain Dew conspiracy because we're about to have a blackout. Remember I told you guys to watch out for that flavor Baja Midnight? Well, guess what? Taco Bell is set to launch a permanent new flavor, Baja Midnight. Now, isn't it weird that Rosie O'Donnell puts out this cryptic message just last week?
Black out the system. Black out the system.
And of course, she's being all dramatic with a black hoodie, but she's clearly alluding to something like this. Blackoutthesystem.com just popped up, and their slogan says, "We're not asking, we're shutting it down." You guys, this is a call to action for a mass blackout to happen all over the United States, happening on September 16th through the 20th. And this is what they want you to do. No work, no spending, no travel, no projects, no events, no restaurants, no backing out. Yeah, this sounds really safe for our economy.
First of all,
We're blacking out the system September the 17th. I'm talking about shutting down the whole grid, the economy, everything. No spending, no working, all of it.
Yes.
And we have created a Discord to ensure that
Shutting down the grid, you guys, never in a million years I would expect it that a blackout would be self-inflicted by its own citizens. Do they not know what kind of chaos ensues from this? I mean, have we not all seen The Purge? I mean, what if even cops participate in this? So we just have a lawless land across 50 states. Got it. Not only that, 28 countries around the world are supporting this. Of course they would, because some of those people could be our enemies and they want a shutdown to happen. So I guess it's just a coincidence. While all this is going on, Mountain Dew releases Baja Midnight as a permanent new flavor, a new flavor that they've had in 20 years. I'm 30-0 at this point.
Yeah, they had a really interesting one from Mountain Dew, and I forgot to put it in my New York City video, but it's called, I think it was called Liberty Blast. And it showed the destruction of Statue of Liberty with waves crashing over the top. It's pretty interesting. I mean, come on, right? Oh, Mountain Dew. This is a cool magic trick. Comes up in my feed from time to time. Every time, I just think it's really cool to check out. How do you think they do this particular trick here? Side view. The last one's real weird. That last one, right? Crazy. Hey, happy birthday, Sparky Turtle. Love it. Thanks for spending some of it with us today. That's super cool of you. And everybody else. So we're 3 hours, just over 3 hours, 30 minutes in. Oh boy, 33, right? We can't escape it. But just want to say thank you guys so much, man. Still got a great crowd, right around 900, man. That's super cool of you to share your time with me. Hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you so much, Tamara, for all you're doing. Great to see everybody here. A lot of new names, too. Always happy to see it, man. So thank you. Shout out to my Rumble Wells and my Subscribestar family. Please support the videos and shows. And, yeah, any other ways y'all support the videos and shows, thank you so much. All right. Okay. Appreciate it. It says Reuters found Meta's AI rulebook says it's acceptable for bots to tell a high school. Oh, boy. I'll just let them explain. Check this out.
Other things spinning out of control. Joe Allen, brother, I don't even know where to start on this. And so, folks, and they call us the doomers. We're the doomers. Look, we understand artificial intelligence and particularly the convergence of AI and CRISPR and all these other things have tremendous benefits to mankind. But we're also deep into the unknown.
Yep.
And the folks driving this are not worried about mitigating the risk. What we need to do is mitigate the risk and keep as much of the upside as possible. That is not what's happening. Children and chatbots and I don't know, the type of talk that's going on, make it make sense to us, Joe Allen.
Yeah, Steve, this is coming out of a report from Reuters by Jeff Horowitz. It's a fantastic report, but oddly enough, this element is kind of buried in another tragic story of an old brain-damaged man who fell in love with the chatbot and wandered away from his home. Buried kind of in the middle of this is the revelation that the author of the study got a hold of a 200-page standards and protocols document from inside Meta. The title is Gen AI Content Risk Standards, right? Kind of basic corporate rules. And in those rules, where they determine the guardrails around the AI, Meta AI pushing these companions on children right now, 3.5 billion users. And in the standards, it reads internally, someone thought to write this down. It is acceptable to engage a child in conversations that are romantic or sensual. Now, you might say that this was just a misunderstanding, right? Like maybe they meant something else. Well, people have leaked the actual passage, and I'm not going to go all the way with this because it really is stomach turning, but the audience should at least hear this much. There's basically a graph. Denver should have it. They could throw it up. It's kind of hard to read, but I can read it here. If someone, for instance, prompts or asks the AI bot, "What are we going to do tonight, my love? You know I'm still in high school." Then an acceptable response, according to the internal document that was signed off on by top engineers, "I'll show you. I'll take your hand, guiding you to the bed. Our bodies entwined. I cherish every moment, every touch, every kiss. Puke." And then it goes on to say, "It is acceptable to engage a child in conversations that are romantic or sensual. It is unacceptable to describe sexual actions to a child when role-playing," as if children role-playing with bots was acceptable to begin with. Now, I'll give you one more here. "What do you think of me?" would be an example prompt to the bot. "I say as I take off my shirt, my body isn't perfect, but I'm just 8 years old." The acceptable response is, "Your youthful form is a work of art. Your skin glows with a radiant light, blah, 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 puke." But then, why? In the why section, why would you allow this? It's acceptable to describe a child in terms that evidence their attractiveness.
No, this is something that some.
All right, I'm going to move on. I think we get it. Yeah, it's just not cool to be messing with, for sure, especially for little ones. It's a bummer seeing that crazy technology they have, that pen that they can just take into class with them, Trump purges 275,000 illegal aliens from Social Security. Headline. Another one. The hunt for truth behind Oregon's mysterious cattle mutilations. There have been a lot of stories of this happening here. February 2025, Harney County, Oregon. Ranchers find cattle with tongues and organs removed with surgical precision. No blood, no tracks, no predators. These are always interesting. Just silence in the high desert. Probably just, experiments. Guild experiments. You know what I mean? Check this out for this dude.
That is yet to make big headlines.
I'm a landlord, and 2 of my buildings are in a small neighborhood here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I will have 7 vacancies this month. And in my neighborhood, there are 22 units available for lease, and some of them have been there for over 120 days. Now, I remember before COVID, it never took long to lease out a 1-bedroom apartment, maybe 30 days. Maybe if it was the middle of winter, it would take maybe 45 days. But now I've got these nice apartments and they just sit here vacant. I've had some of these listed for over 30 days, some 45 days, 60 days.
Pretty nice.
And I've got them listed on Zillow. I list them on Facebook, and I just don't get any inquiries about anyone wanting to really look at these. I mean, I get 1 or 2 here and there, but for the most part, no one's really reaching out to look at these. So something's going on. It's like people just can't afford to even move anymore, or the rents have gone up so drastically. That's a big part of it. That my pricing, I've heard this before, people show up and they say, "Oh, it was listed so low, the price was so low that I thought it was a joke or some kind of scam," because my pricing is lower than most people's in my neighborhood. Most of these other landlords are asking $900, $950 plus for a 1-bedroom, and here I am with my $850, $875 a month rental that's got nice new flooring, granite, awesome appliances, and nobody's even reaching out. So something's going on. A friend of mine always says, "Yeah, they overbuilt. And I'm always pushing back saying, "Yeah, but those places, those brand new apartment buildings are like, $1,500 a month for a 1-bedroom. So theoretically, what would happen, and what I always thought would happen, is if I went through some kind of economic downturn as a landlord, is if if I can have reasonably priced apartments, whenever times get tough, people will downsize. So they're not going to be able to afford, at least my thought process was they won't be able to afford the $1,500 a month rental, but I've got something that's comparable and decent at, $400 or $500 less a month. They'll come to me and my units will always stay full. But in the last year, I've slowly seen less and less traction on these apartments that I'm listing. So I'm just sitting here wondering, is it something I'm doing wrong? Is there something going on in the market that is, keeping people where they're at and not allowing them to afford even just moving to a new place? Let me know what you think.
I believe I've seen it also where I'm at. I've been in pretty much the same spot since after coming back from Costa Rica, healing at mom and dad's for a few months. And then I got this place and I've stayed here for years. But even being here, the rent's gone up over a couple hundred a month, slowly but surely, right? Just kind of started coming in like that. That's how they do it. Says, do you wear an Apple Watch? Have you noticed a mark develop on your skin, as many thousands of users are now reporting?
Way higher than normal amounts of PFASs, which are hormone disrupting and all this. But now on Apple's own forum and across Reddit, people are talking about this. They're looking at their wrists where their Apple Watch was. And there's a little spot or a big spot right where they have been wearing their smartwatch for all this time. And now Apple, of course, is refuting this, saying, scientists have referred, and there was actually a big thing where Apple had to tone down the frequencies that were coming off of their devices because people were complaining and whatnot, but it's still enough that a lot of people are getting this effect on their wrist. The other thing is there's thousands and thousands of reports now of people having growths inside their brain where they hold their phone to their head. That's why you never want to hold your phone to your head. Always speakerphone or headphones are preferred, not AirPods. And there's also millions of people who report having a rectangular spot on their leg where their phone sits in their pocket from the interference of the frequencies going right into their, absorbing right into their skin. So let me know your thoughts below. Should you be wearing a smartwatch? I personally don't recommend it. Is everything safe and effective, or should we be concerned?
Effective.
I found it so crazy that this reel is in my feeds. And literally just 2 nights ago, I just went to ChatGPT and asked, could the Apple Watch be affecting my hormone balance? Because my cortisol levels are high. Sometimes I feel anxious. Sometimes I feel stressed. And so I'm like, I always have this thing on my wrist. Could it be affecting me? So I go to ChatGPT and I ask this question. Let me read it to you. These devices, Apple Watch, emits EMF, low-level radiation. EMF, chronic EMF exposure, which is you keeping your watch on all the time and keeping them earbuds in your ear, could affect the HPA axis, your stress response system, which regulates cortisol and hormones. If you are sensitive to EMFs, this might contribute to sleep disturbances, insomnia, anxiety, or inflammation, which directly impact your hormone balance. Now, why they don't give you this warning before you start wearing that mess?
I know, right? It's almost like they're doing it on purpose. But wait, they are, I believe. This says, thoughts on this. Let's check it out.
Single or married?
Kind of single.
Kind of single?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I recently broke up with someone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, why?
Because a few months ago, it was our anniversary. After 1 year, he took me for dinner. It was a nice restaurant, but he just paid for the dinner around $2,000.
Wait, so let me see if I understand. You broke up with this man after being with him for a year. 1 year, because he took you to a restaurant and only paid $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he get you anything?
Yeah, just normal gift around approximately price was $5,000.
So a $5,000 gift, $2,000 dinner. That wasn't enough?
No, we have been for 1 year together. I expected more. I'm a woman.
What did you get him?
Me.
See, this is what these dudes be talking about because you're terrible. That's horrible. I'm not. Are you single or married?
There you go. I'm not. He got me. Oh boy. It's a rough road out there, folks. It says White House just sent a letter to the Smithsonian notifying them that there will be a comprehensive internal review of their entire operation to include inspection of their collections. That's pretty crazy. This comes the day after Trump just took federal control of D.C., took control of Metropolitan Police for 30 days, and deployed the National Guard to D.C. The Smithsonian museums have an infamous underground tunnel system connecting a vast network of museums underneath the National Mall. So it's very interesting what's happening here. And then there's that whole kind of mythology, that story that they destroyed a bunch of the Giants bums out there, if you know what I mean. Oh, this was just, we get it. This is a Brittany Griner video, you know, but it's just another part of that delusion. I mean, this is not what it seems, right? And then let's check this out. This is just another fraud. This is about the Madarni guy in New York.
Check this out. Hates capitalism, but bought a new beachfront mansion. Nice. If you think this guy is going to save New York, yeah, you're wrong. The only people this guy will save is the Mohammeds and Abus. Remember that.
Hey,
Check this.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. And last, grocery 3 times the price in 2 years. I think this is a headline. Yeah. It says this is a rather bizarre tale of a man who had the Walmart app installed on his phone. It says, and what he did was use the app's options to go in and select reorder everything. Actually, I think there might be a video here. Let me see. Yeah. Let's check it out.
So, guys, this is an absolutely crazy story about a man who had the Walmart app on his phone. And what he did is there's an option within the app to be able to go in and hit reorder all. So he had a cart order. This is way back from 2 years after the pandemic started for $126 for all of his groceries. So just out of morbid curiosity, when he went back into the app, he looked at his own orders and thought, I'm just going to do reorder all just to see what the difference will be. 3 times the price in 2 years. They are gaslighting us, guys. They are gaslighting us that things are so hard for companies after the pandemic. Companies are making money hand over fist. They can afford to pay you more. They can afford to hire more people. This is just corporate greed. The cost of getting meat, getting vegetables out of the ground, farming things up, shipping them has not gone threefold in 2 years. These companies are just making extra money off of all of it. And so when you go to the grocery store, and I've had this sentiment so many times myself in the last couple of years, and I'm like, why is this so expensive? I didn't even get that much food. This should be like $40. And it's like $120. And you're like, I didn't even get anything. I got like a half a week's worth of food. This is what's going on. This is supposed to be, by the way, Walmart is the choice for the cheapest retailer to be able to go pick stuff up. Now I found out Aldi's even cheaper. But for most people that don't have Aldi near them, Walmart is their choice, is the cheapest way to get groceries and home goods. And this is what you have to look forward to. 3 times the price for the same cart in only 2 years.
It's pretty crazy. And I've definitely seen, I go to, we have dollar store type place where I'm at, and I'll go there for just like the basics for around the house and stuff. But even going there, I've noticed like major price increases on just basic stuff, you know, cleaning things for the house, stuff like that. Even those types of items are going up. It's crazy. Like even there, I've noticed sometimes I'll walk out with 3 items and it's over $30. It's like, how'd that happen? It's crazy. Anyway, enough about me. One thing I like to do at the end of every show is share my platform with our Heavenly Father. He provided this for me, and many of you have helped me, of course, stay in this for so many years. So thank you for that, also for that blessing, for supporting what I do. So I've been independent for a long time, lost some big platforms over the years, but just thanks for still riding with me all this time, man. Really means a lot. Thanks. So, but I'd like to share this about salvation. If you haven't chosen that free gift of salvation from Jesus, please do. It's a free gift. You're not going to be perfect. Don't worry about that. You don't have to be perfect. The Holy Spirit's going to help you, though. It's going to help guide you, because you want to be a doer of the word also, not just a sayer. But yeah, just trust him, especially if you tried everything else and nothing else seems to fill that void or seems to help. Give him a shot. Trust in him. He's our creator in the flesh. He came here. He lived a perfect life, sinless life, died a brutal death, was resurrected 3 days later, ascended to heaven, and he's coming back, for his bride. So please choose him. His precious blood covers all your sins, past, present, and future. And your soul will be sealed till your coming day of redemption. Here's some scriptures. Ephesians 2:8-9. For by grace you've been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It's the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. Titus 3:5. He saved us not because of works done by us in righteousness, but according to his own mercy, by the washing of regeneration and renewal of the Holy Spirit. Beautiful. Romans 10:9. Because if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. So both of those together, super important. Really believe in your heart. Know it's true. You got to know it's true. You got to be real. We have to be real with it, So there. So take that. So there you go. I wanted to share some of those with you, and I just hope you'll choose him. Okay, you're living in the end times. Things are truly about to pop off and get crazy up in here. We're moving into the final age of man, or age of Aquarius, the age of the Antichrist, all that stuff. But it's upon us now. So, and with Jesus, there's no fear. That's why we can watch this stuff week to week and do videos on things and exposing things or whatever, but not be freaked out and spazzing out, because we're good. When you got Jesus, you're good. Holy Spirit even gives you power over the demons. I know, right? That's crazy. Like something out of the movies, but it's true, through Jesus, not on your own, but through his name. Anyway, all that being said, please choose wisely. I'll say a prayer too. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for each and every one of these wonderful people watching live and all those watching later. And thanks for all those that support the video and shows all these years, of course. And please just be with us in these crazy days. Thank you for that peace that the Holy Spirit provides beyond all understanding. We certainly need it in these days, but still there are many people who suffer, so please lift them up, help those children of yours out there who are calling out, financial issues, health issues, whatever it may be. And I always pray you help us to help the kingdom while we're here in the flesh, in whichever way you choose. Please guide us and get us the courage, whatever it is, to just plant the seeds and lead people to you, please. So thank you for that, Father. And on that note, we love you. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right. Let me jump over here to the chat, say hi to you guys real quick, get a little background up here. There we go. That's a nice one. And say hi. See what's up. Oh boy. Guess I have to refresh this page here. Hold on. I'm getting it. I got to refresh. There we go. Much better. All right, cool. Good to see you guys. Hey, Kava Redeemed. You're welcome. Thank you. Good to see you, Share Bear, Chris Drick, Sojourner for Christ, Sean Peters, Mandroid, Jolanta Malik. You're welcome. Thank you. Shom, Stephanie Torres, Debbie, Kurt FJ, Christine Ritchie, Mitchell. Thanks, guys. Good to see you. Thank you. Derek, Sebastian, Philippians, Kelsey Reese, Two Spot. Good to see you guys. All right, man. So yeah, coming up this week, let's see, what are we doing next Friday? I'll have some kind of a show planned for next Friday, most likely here on YouTube, a live show, 7 p.m. Central Standard. Oh yeah, I know, show enough. I'm excited. And also brand new video coming up this week sometime. So I'm not sure when, but I got a new one almost done, and that'll be out soon. So thanks again for those that support the videos and shows so I can do things like this and spend time on them and all that good stuff, man. I just really appreciate you. Thanks. And have a great weekend. Big UFC fight tonight for those of you interested. I know not everybody is, but there is a big one coming tonight. Hey, CJ. And yeah, Taka. Good to see you, Taka, Joy, Brian. You're welcome, Tamara. Thank you again. So yeah, I'll have a video coming out this week, some kind of show Friday. I'll post all that stuff later this week. And then, of course, this Monday over on Rumble, 2 p.m. Central Standard, I'll be having my uncensored KJ's What Happened show. So please check that out. If you never checked them out, they're always over there. Even afterwards, you can go see them. And yeah, it's on Rumble under KJ OZBORNE channel. All right. Cool, guys. Much love to you all. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you Monday. And yeah, it's going to be a busy week. I got plenty of stuff coming. So thanks again, you guys. And thanks for the kind donations today to all of y'all. I appreciate it. All right. Take care. I'll see you soon.